Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stats Norsworthy.
Welcome into the Thursday edition of Sportstime. Nice to have you with us. Wallow, Stats. We got Bryant Dacus spinning all the dials. It is Open Championship Thursday. They begged us. This is why Brett and I absolutely stink this year. We had the first picks. They begged us. What did TJ Reeves say? Oosty. First thing I got this morning was Louie, a text.
I got it
Ted
early,
Butler
too.
said, Oosty. We could have taken him.
Now that's only a person that is, I think, the most renowned, revered golf instructor, and I'm going to say it, that the city of Memphis, a great golf town, has ever had in Mr. Ted Butler, and I mean that.
I think that's probably
that
true.
comes from him.
Listen.
And it also comes from a person that worked for years on PGA Tour radio, that knows them well, that knows those courses, that knows the intricacies of the great game. And what do? I went with the Vegas odds, John Rahm.
I don't blame you for going with John Rahm, because if I had your pick, I would have taken John Rahm, no doubt.
I think you would.
By the way,
I would have taken Louis.
Would you given?
I was really torn Rahm, Justin Thomas, Dave, because you know,
because you love Justin Thomas. You love.
He said I had
Justin Thomas.
You said he was my lover.
Yeah, I know.
But okay, well, I mean, nothing wrong with that, but he's not.
Louis is. Did he peak a little too early today? 6 under. He is our leader.
No. Dave, the proverbial, he wasn't even breathing hard. It could have been better.
Man, he's
that rhythm, that swing that Ted Butler identified years ago is the best on tour.
By the way, go back to a statement.
Weiskopf, Iron Byron-esque.
You just
slamming Sam Snead-esque.
Were you giving a Peggy Sternberger reference there when you talked earlier about knowing all these courses? You said I worked for Westwood.
I wasn't, but I love Peggy Sternberger.
Oh, yeah.
You know that.
Oh yeah, well, she actually did some national radio on the PGA Tour.
The grand doyen of golf coverage, and just a lovely person, wasn't she?
Oh, she was great. I mean,
and
really
that
great
accent was just so beautiful.
Oh yeah. Well, she was beautiful. Especially in her younger days.
She was. One time, and I had not started in radio. I was just merely listening to you and Dave, or you and George. I'm sorry, Dave.
Okay.
You and George,
and
y'all had Peggy on, and I think it was in '80. I'm pretty sure it was in '86 when it was at Shinnecock, and she said with that accent, she said, "George, it's just a most fantastic golf course." I'm driving down the road, and I said, "That is beautiful." And then when I met her, I told her, I said, Miss Peggy, I wanted to meet you from afar for a long time. She said, "I hope I didn't disappoint."
That sounds like Peggy Sternberger. She was very good friends with Arnold Palmer.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Yes, she was, and instrumental in getting the King to come play in Memphis.
She was. She absolutely was. This was a weird day.
She was proud of their friendship. She was friends with Arnold Palmer's, the mother of his children, his first wife.
Mm-hmm.
I think her name was Winnie.
That sounds right.
But Peggy was good friends with the King and Winnie Palmer.
So Oosthuizen has the lead, 6 under. He is ahead of Jordan Spieth and a guy named Brian Harmon, who I picked as a shock 2 weeks ago. And what did Brian Harmon do for me? Bagel.
Nothing.
Bagel. I don't have him. All of a sudden, he's in second at the Open Championship in Royal St. George. Tough day today.
Got a nice little tidy game, doesn't he?
Tough day today for Phil Mickelson. Did you see?
From one left-hander, Brian Harmon, to another.
Did you see?
Lefty.
Did you see him miss a 1-foot putt? Phil Mickelson missed
I saw him really
foot
fussy and
putt.
fighting at the U.S. Open. He has not seemed happy since winning,
No.
Dave.
Do you know what he is today? He's tied for the back for last.
Dead last.
10 over par. He was 7 over par.
Hey, that's a new twist next year on Golf Picks. Let's pick who comes in last, and you get like $1 million if you get it right.
Yeah, I like that idea. I need something. Let's start it right now.
Yeah. Well, years ago, Rob Fisher very much would change the rules on the fly in golf picks in a desperate attempt to try to come back. And we're 2 votes, Dave, and I run the math work on it, so I think we could override Team Young and John Goin. So you want to just on the fly, let's change things?
Maybe we should do that because you and I are – we're not doing so well.
I'm out of it.
Brooks Koepka today.
You're much better than me. I mean, you're almost double my money. I know I'm horrid. And you got to remember, except for the first week, I've been picking first or second every week.
I know that's terrible to admit. Yeah.
Yes,
so Koepka today, my guy won under. If I recall correctly, Usti is John Goin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, you don't win it on Thursday. We know that. What I'm looking here, McIlroy,
a lot of golf to play.
McIlroy and a bunch of people at even par. Where is John Rahm? What did John Rahm finish?
John Rahm's plus one and had to make a pretty lengthy birdie on 18 to get to that.
Wow.
And, I don't know how it went in. It bumped and waggled and wiggled and seesawed and fell in. I think he was shocked it went in because I don't think he hit it very well.
Bryson.
What time was your first viewing?
My first viewing was for a very short period of time. I was really doing a lot of stuff.
You had
today.
One of those days?
Tomorrow will be more viewing. But
see, after tomorrow, I'm kind of out. I'm not going to get to watch a lot of weekends. I'm going to be driving, but I'll have it on PGA Tour radio.
Sure. 92 on your Sirius XM dial. Just so you know, I'm just helping you out in case you didn't know that.
Only reason I'll have PGA Tour radio is because I'll be in a vehicle from our friends at All Star Chevrolet headed to SEC Media Days.
There you go.
You know I don't subscribe in my car.
No, you wouldn't possibly put up that $100 that you do for the year to have that.
That's $2 a week, Dave. I mean, come on.
It is amazing how I have seen you. Seriously, I have seen you as the most generous soul.
Tip the bill.
I know.
Tip a bill.
You won't let anybody pick up a restaurant bill. You got to do that, but you won't pay $5 a month.
It really
ESPN
is random.
Plus. It is.
It really. It's as random as COVID is right now.
Bryson DeChambeau today blamed his driver. Okay.
Let's go over who all he's blamed. He's blamed the competitors in Brooks Koepka. He's blamed his caddy.
Yeah.
He's blamed his equipment maker. You're running out of people to blame.
So
you need to look in that mirror.
That's the best part. Wait. So the guy who took over last week for him as the caddy when his caddy quit, that guy happens to be his equipment provider. That guy was so mad today when he blamed Cobra.
Have you seen their statement?
I haven't seen Cobra.
They called him an 8-year-old.
Ooh.
Oh, you got to find it, Bryant. Read it verbatim. Oh, I just saw it in a graphic and didn't screenshot it. But the response back from Cobra was basically, "We can't please this guy."
I saw the guy himself who caddied for him. He just said he's never happy. We can't please him. But I didn't see the he's like an 8-year-old. Now, I had not seen that. I saw we can't please him. And then the guy went into talking about when you lower the degree of angle on the club, the lie, basically.
It's a 5-degree club.
Right. When you lower the degree as low as he has, and
that's a hammer.
And you keep increasing the club head speed, which is what he has done with his, bulk gain and muscle mass, you will have more difficulty controlling the spin off the club face. And he's
mad over his misses.
He's complaining about his misses. Exactly. He's complaining that they're going too
far.
Sorry,
hit it flush, dude. You're a pro golfer.
Right. Either hit it flush or how about going to a 7-degree to a 9-degree driver? Huh?
Wow, that's zany, Dave. Yeah, you can't go that crazy now. Not on Thursday.
And he's mad that he is claiming that, and he's not just saying Cobra does this, but because more pros really favor a cut shot going left to right off a right-hander rather than the right to left, which gets you more distance that a draw will get you, that they're manufacturing the driver faces to be more available for a fade, a cut shot.
Something they and Ted Butler talked about it on Monday with us. Nobody's teaching. It's antithetical to teaching a draw now. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to hit it. And, Dave, there was a time in my life I would have paid a lot of money to be able to consistently draw the ball.
Well, there are still some guys that do that every time. They draw the ball, but they
not pros,
they can control
not
the
many.
draw. But you know what Lee Trevino famously once said, right? He said, you can talk to a cut. You cannot talk to a hook.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. They don't converse back very well. It'll be interesting to see the rest of the week. It's interesting to see tonight. Only one Major League Baseball is getting back. Red Sox, Yankees playing for the 812th time just this season. That's a new record. Last night, Bryant Dacus and I both were at AutoZone Park, and Dave, we've talked about it.
Big first inning. Huge first inning for the Redbirds.
Big first inning, and the can't-miss, probably best prospect who came into the game hitting a .105, 105, Nolan Gorman.
Right.
Got his first AAA home run last night. Got a couple other hits.
Wasn't there a back-to-back in there? Was he the first or the second on that back-to-back?
He was the first. And later in the game, a moonshot, one of the biggest home runs I've ever seen to left field. But
was it Bo-like?
No, because Bose is still going. Bose went over Christian Brothers College, didn't it?
Well, Bose went over the light standard.
That is over Central and over Christian Brothers and over Poplar, wasn't it? As legend has it.
It would at least go over Avery, which is where the Board of Education is. It might have landed on that roof. I don't know.
At least that. But we also saw last night, and I want to be careful. I don't want to knock him around because I know he was getting some bench jockeying from the crowd. But Cal Ripken's son is a left-handed DH on Norfolk, and bad news for Orioles fans. There's no help in the future. You're going to be bad even longer. They're really bad. They're as bad as the Redbirds. There weren't many future Major League pension drawers last night. There weren't many on that field that will play enough to ever get into to drawing a check someday from MLB Players Association. He struck out 3 times last night, and I think it was on 10 pitches in all.
Ooh, that's like.
Yes, it is. One of the at-bats was the worst I've ever seen in recorded bat history. It hangs in the bad bat Louvre.
Tell me, give me the pitch. Give me the sequence.
Waved at it like he was swinging a mop, looked at a strike right up down central, and then waved at another one like he was swinging a mop.
Wow.
It was bad.
His stance is goofy. It's very upright. He's DH hitting about $150, $160.
So in other words, the only reason he's there is because his name is Ripken?
I wouldn't think at AAA you get that pass, would you?
Well, the Ripkens, unfortunately, Billy Ripken, I think, got a lot of the opportunities that our own Tim Doolin would have gotten if
he did.
If his name hadn't been Ripken.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is some of that. I do. I don't know. I don't know enough about Cal's
and we know son of, and we know especially same namesake in anything. That's tough. That you get a lot of doors open for you, but you get a lot shut.
Yep.
I love telling the story of I saw the remarks of Ted Kennedy Jr. at his father's funeral, and he said, "Let me tell you something. Going through life and saying hi, I'm Ted Kennedy. That has not always been easy."
Well, what's the famous line you get if you're the son of a big name, you get some of his friends but all of his enemies.
That's it. You get all the enemies. And now the trust fund is great.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. Yeah.
but I'm sure young Ripken batting last night's not worried about what some Memphis Talk Radio guy and his friend Bryant think of his swing, because I'm sure his dad's in very good shape, and he's going to be in good shape, and he's trying to live his life and do it. But Norfolk is really bad. Didn't you think, Bryant?
They're terrible. But so are the Redbirds.
They are.
They made the Redbirds look good.
How good is Gorman? Is he going to live up to the deal?
I think
needs a lot of at bats.
Yeah,
it needs all next summer. It needs 400 AAA at bats badly.
Wow!
Do not rush him.
No, he doesn't need to be rushed. But he kind of had the same thing in AA, where he started off real sluggish, and then he hit that first home run. Seemed like after that he got right to it. So maybe that's what he needed last night, but we'll have to see.
And last night the Redbirds win. I don't think they're in last place anymore because they win, are they, Brian? Or might be in the loss column.
They might. If they're not in last place, it's real close.
Yeah. It kills me. We're not in the agate of the commercial appeal. I'm gonna, and I don't normally do this because I digitally I still think they do a decent job, but you don't really get the agate.
Yeah, and times have changed.
But to me, it drives me crazy. We'll get MLB without a real expanded box, so you don't see streaks or anything like that.
Right.
Even I can live with that. What drives me crazy is I don't see any agate of standings on minor league baseball. Also, we're going to get MLS and we're going to get NW LS or whatever the heck the women's league is. They won't give you USL championship.
Right.
What?
Yeah, I miss that page because that was a lot of information, especially for doing this right there in front of you on one easy sortable page. But that has changed. It's odd for me. Last night was just the 6th game I've been to all year, and I don't have many more left in me this year because of time and other things. But I know they come to your phone, but I miss not having game notes in front of me. I miss not having lineups in front of me that I miss not having, it's not called AAA, but the rest of AAA baseball from around the country right there in front of me to look at things like who's drawing and I know I can go on my phone and do that, but I don't want to live on my phone all the time. I liked it right there at my ready, but I know those days are over. Those days have come and gone. What hadn't come and gone this hour is brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. They are at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2021 models and always special lease options. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Online at lexusofmemphis.com, 901-362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, that is we got a series in the NBA. Of course, a lot of it is also the Open Championship, but we already gave you those scores, so let's go back to last night. Down the stretch, you got to execute. Phoenix had a chance to put this series away. No execution. Chris Paul, maybe the worst game I have seen him play
this year.
Pressure-packed situation. And I thought Phoenix gave the Bucks, and Middleton and Giannis were terrific. I don't want to take anything away from them, but I thought Phoenix could have put this thing away if they had executed down the stretch. They did not. We got a series. We're tied 2-2 going to the Valley, and I hate it. That and tell me, just remind me, is this new where you play a game on Wednesday and your next game is on Saturday? I don't remember the championship series being separated by this many days in between games.
I talked about it last week that if it goes to Game 7, it goes until July 22nd. We're now guaranteed minimum. I mean, the least it's going to end in 6, and that'll be Tuesday night, July 20th, next Tuesday night. I think a lot of that is trying to maximize ratings and draw eyeballs and, try to recoup the financial losses. So I don't blame them, but I don't mind July basketball. I'm with you. It's echo here. We have a series. You got to try to have a chance. In Milwaukee, they provided themselves a chance. Now 2-2 with the Bucks win last night. Maybe this will develop into a classic. At least it was a good game last night. Chris Middleton, he'll help that United States basketball team, and we'll just see if the rest of the world's caught up when they add Chris Middleton and Devin Booker.
Oh, and remember, and Holiday. Don't forget him. There's
exactly.
Another guy who can give you some physicality, which is something you need.
And remember, they've caught up with us. If catching up is 55-4, well, that's a high bar the United States has set.
No doubt.
Not top story of the day.
Well, along those lines of Team USA, Bradley Beal out of the Olympic Games because of COVID protocols, also in protocol. Maybe out, they're not sure. Jeremy Grant. So Team USA is now looking for replacements. You know they are going to get Holiday, Booker, and Middleton. But now they're going to be looking for one more, maybe two other players, and maybe even more, because I was reading somewhere where Colangelo and Popovich may be thinking that Kevin Love is just not fit enough to really be a factor. They could actually make several changes on this roster before they head to Tokyo. And so
warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, that's
Ja Morant.
That's not top story. Maybe it is Ja Morant. By the way, I'll give this a little bit later, but Morant in the top 15 of jersey sales for all NBA players. Moving
that
up.
matters.
Yeah, that matters.
My not top story, we talked about it. Louis Oosthuizen, he strolled around Royal St. George easily early this morning, Memphis time. Jordan Spieth right there. A lot of golf left. Stuart Sink, he's won twice this year in the wraparound. If he wins this week,
he's a former champ.
Is he player of the year?
Yes. Oh, no doubt. If I think you
Boy, there was some odds on that one.
You would have to go with Stuart Sink. 3 wins and a major in there?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be hard to beat.
At 72 years old.
He's not 72. He's younger than me. What is he? He's not even 50 yet, is he?
47,
46?
48.
Yeah, 46, 47.
Boy, he'll make a lot on the Champions Tour, won't he?
He will if he keeps
nice
playing like
retirement
this.
fund.
You know, that is a license to make money for, well, if you're Bernard Longer, you're still making it. What is he, 64?
Yeah.
Longer now? Look at how long did Lauren Roberts make a lot of money on that tour?
A good 8 or 10 year stretch.
I think so. I think
Doug Barron's doing it now.
Yeah.
We'll pull for him.
I think you got about a 10-year window to really have a lot of fun still and make good money, make $1 million or two. Not a bad deal.
No, it's not.
That
I mean,
is,
and it's not like you're retrofitting the bridge either. I mean, you're not running you're not a welder on trying to get the bridge reopened. You're playing golf.
Yeah. We got a busy show today. Daryl Smith, our good friend from the WGC FESJI, who's actually the tournament director, is going to join us. We'll talk a little bit about the Open Championship and where they are right now in terms of the Memphis tournament and who we know for sure is coming. And you got to wonder where the Olympics will play into all that. So we'll chat with our friend Daryl Williams at 3:30. At 3:45, I am going, because I think this is important. I'm going to try and give sort of a little bit better of an explanation about the NIL and how it works. Because the school or the coach can't go to a booster and say, will you sponsor a kid? The booster actually has to do that. We'll talk more about that at about 3:45. We'll talk NBA. We'll talk Team USA. We'll talk Suns and Bucks with our friend from Yahoo, Keith Smith, down in Orlando. Then at 5 o'clock, we talk Tigers today with our friend Greg Gaston. So we are busy, as we always are. I'm sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios in the Flynn Broadcasting Center, and I'm reminding you there's great pricing on in-stock merchandising. The incoming products still coming, but really they're chock full with all the summer merchandise, and there's still really good pricing. Keep the kids active. The play gyms, they're ready to go. They've been for a while now, and I remind everybody, if you do one of those play gyms in your yard, kids go crazy. They love it. They exercise, but you got to make sure it's safe. They have installation from pros available. I always want to recommend that. There's markdowns on game room products. I'd love an air hockey table. I love those things. There's massage chairs you'll love. Hot tubs going fast. Reserve yours now because you know the cold weather is right around the corner. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road. You'll see the best way it's been laid out in years. Go check out all our friends at Family Leisure. I-40 and Whidden Road is exactly where family and friends come together. So we are now officially on this Thursday. It's Open Thursday. We're underway.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays. Only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions. I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
There's now a faster and easier way to pick up your Corky's Barbecue. Order and pay online, pull into the designated spot, text Corky's to 474747, and we'll bring your order right to your car. No waiting.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We like to party.
Cruising along, first hour on this, again, just a beautiful summer day. This Thursday, Open Championship Thursday. We're talking golf, so let's talk some more about it. Let's talk about it Memphis style, and that, of course, means WGC, FESJI, and the tournament director, Daryl Smith, joins us now. What does it look like out at Southwind today? Have we got stands pretty well erected, to media center all set up, hub going, or are we still a ways away?
No, we're more. We got things set up. That's for sure. I mean, we have a lot of fence that's been being put up over the last couple of days. We got some new vendors that are on site that are starting to finish out hospitality venues in the inside. We have temporary air conditioning that's being set up. So a sea of activity as we get ready for the third playing of the World Golf Championship here in Memphis.
Oh, Daryl, that is great news. Last year did the best we could, and we all understand why. And 2 years ago was so fun, and the Brooks and Rory battle was a lot of fun. And then last year the winner being Justin Thomas. Now this year, just so good for y'all. And I think of so many people through the year that just did the grunt work out there with every contact they had, trying to entice, lure, beg, get people to come play. Now you don't have to do that. It's kind of an easy job to get, because the best in the world want to be here as a part of it.
Yeah, it feels great to be able to have this platform of a World Golf Championship in Memphis. There's been so many great golfers just throughout our history being played in Memphis, Tennessee since 1958. But we know that there were challenges with the FedEx St. Jude Classic and player field, just as there's challenges with every tournament that's on the PGA Tour schedule. that isn't an invitational or a World Golf Championship. And to be on the, the other side of that coin and to have a WGC here in our backyard, you definitely sleep a little easier at night knowing that you're going to have top players in the world that want to come to Southwind and, want to be in Memphis. And it's something that they start their schedule with every year when they start planning.
And just to reiterate, I know you got a lot of hospitality, and I know it's been selling pretty well, but we're back to 100%, are we not?
Yeah, we're pretty confident that we're going to be able to welcome back a large number of spectators here on site. I mean, we've been in close conversation with the Shelby County Health Department, and we, communicate with them. And, what we have done on the PGA Tour is that we have adapted to where our events are being played in those communities, and whatever restrictions that are in those communities at that time is the restrictions that will be played under. Of course, in Shelby County, in the city of Memphis, there are no restrictions at this time, and gives us a good place to move forward from.
And we're so ready for it. The countdown's really on. We will start watching the forecast a little bit closer, but right now, even at AccuWeather, it looks pretty good for that first week of August. Look, we know it's going to be warm, but that's part of it. It's, as Phil Cannon would say, it's outdoor sport played in Memphis, Tennessee. So you just have to go along and understand it. Phil Mickelson in our field officially. That's right. Is that right, Daryl?
Yeah, so Phil has not committed yet officially, but he is eligible to compete. So we are, all indications point that he will play in Memphis again. Of course, he didn't gain eligibility until he won the PGA Championship this year. And in a normal year, most of these guys don't officially commit until that really 3-week to 2-week window. But we're very confident that Phil will be back in Memphis. And, just going into this year, we didn't think Phil would be back because of his eligibility, but for him to win the PGA in the fashion that he did, grants him a spot in our field, and we know that success he's had, and we're confident they'll be back here in Memphis.
Does that win? I know it gives him eligibility, I think, for 5 years to play in the majors. What does that do with the WGCs? How many years is he now eligible for our tournament?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's just on a 12-month cycle. So, for Phil, he would have to stay in the top 50 in the official World Golf Rankings when we get around to the 2022 event, or if he was to win another event without a strength of field over 115 or higher. But probably a criteria that a lot of people didn't feel would be possible is that, Mr. Mickelson will probably be a Ryder Cup selection this year and play in the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits, and that would also gain him eligibility for the 2022 event.
Oh, that's excellent.
That is, Daryl. I know forever, whether it was trying to get whatever star, whether it was Tiger or whoever, and the people, the courtship, trying to lure them here. You and Phil and Jack and everybody associated with the tournament would always stick with this, because it was true. We're going to treat them all the same. We're going to treat them all fabulously. But it would be fun if we could. I know we can't, but it would be fun. Roll that red carpet out that the Peabody Ducks strolled down for Phil, as good as he was at one time to our tournament, and if, like we expect him to come back. Do you think the Olympics will knock anybody out that you really want? Maybe not a name specific, but just kind of in general?
Well, the Olympics, I mean, if you look from, our history of being a World Golf Championship, we've been before or after another marquee event. And this year's no different. And that the Olympics, they come around every 4 years. And the Olympics being played in Tokyo, of course. And last year they were supposed to be played but canceled due to the pandemic. There is concern. I mean, if you look at the golf schedule right this second, a lot of guys have been in Scotland playing the Scottish Open last week. Then they are now at the Open Championship. They're going to, for the most part, probably stay over there, and then they're going to go to Tokyo to play the Olympics, and then back to Memphis. So in a matter of months, in a month's time or 4 to 5 weeks, these players are going to play golf around the world. They're literally going around the world to play golf, and when you think of it that way, you think of the task it is for them just to, that's a long time. It's a long time to be away from home. It's a lot of travel. And they'll literally be playing golf all around the world. So it's it'll be an interesting thing to watch. Of course, the unique criteria for the Olympics is it is such a small field. There's only about 60 players or or thereabouts. I'm not exactly sure the field, how big the field is, but we do have 4 Americans that are going to be playing there: Bryson DeChambeau, Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, and Xander Schauffele, as well as John Rahm and Roy McIlroy. So, I think I would say that we've been around marquee events the first 3 years, and it has had very little effect, and I expect it to be the same this year. But, we do realize that the Olympics are before us, and they're played in Tokyo, Japan.
Do you think those 6 names that you just mentioned will be here, or is that 50-50?
Yeah, I mean, we think the best players in the world are going to do everything they can to be at a World Golf Championship. So I think that it really speaks to how special having a WGC in Memphis and to be around these other marquee events, and for us to continue to get the field that we've had the first 2 years. Of course, the first year was only a year that the fans in this region got to experience that. But we're very confident that the field will continue to take shape, and that the best of the best will be in Memphis come August 2nd through the 8th.
And we do have a couple of things going our way in that regard. I mean, you have no cut, so you guaranteed to come here. What's last place? $100,000, $60,000?
Yeah, I mean, it does make it a lot easier for when you say that they're going to be playing golf around the world and know that they're going to be here for 4 days, and they don't have to just be here for 2 days, and that they will get a paycheck, that they will get a fairly large paycheck by just teeing it up on Thursday. But these guys are wired to win, and they're wired to compete, and for them just to show up is probably that's probably not how they're feeling about competing. If they come here to Memphis and they're going to play in this event, they want to be here on Sunday with a chance to win. But no doubt about it, being a WGC is in a lot better position following the Olympics than it would be if you're a normal PGA Tour event.
Oh yeah, and you got more points that are on the line. It's your last chance to get those points leading to the FedEx Cup. So there's a lot of incentive to come.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a beautiful position to be in, is to have all those things in our favor. Not to mention just the golf course. The golf course is a golf course that all of them have come to love and all of them have come to enjoy. It can reward all types of winners, which I think is a true testament to a golf course. I mean, Dustin Johnson's won here twice. Brooks Koepka has won. Justin Thomas has won. But going back to our FedEx St. Jude Classic days, I mean, there's shorter hitters that have also won on this golf course. So I think that it's a true testament to a golf course as the style of winners that typically can win. And anybody who's playing the best golf that week have a chance to win here at TPC Southwind.
Daryl, how many people do you think, just approximate number, do you think will make up the field? And do you know yet, and is it your decision or tour decision? Is it local or tour on how it'll be on Thursday and Friday? Will it be tee times or 1 and 10?
Yeah, so our field has the ability to have 72 players in it. If I was to guess right now, I think our field probably has about 50, probably around 60 eligible, anywhere from 60 to 62 eligible players at this point in time. Of course, we're 3 weeks away. So there's a good chance that whoever wins the Open Championship will already be eligible to play in our event. And then, of course, there is a chance whoever plays at the 3M up in Minnesota, if they were to win, and they're not already eligible, they would be able to gain entry. So, you think you're probably going to have 62 to 64 eligible players. I think we're probably going to be around the 60 number, if I was to guess, as far as the final field count. I think 60 players is what we're kind of zeroed in on. And I think it'll, be within there of 1 to 2 spots.
Does the Barbasol winner get in?
Yeah, the Barbasol does not have a strength of field with 115 points or higher. So the Barbasol winner would not be able to get in. And that's just the criteria that we've adopted since WGCs were debuted. And mostly it's every single winner on the PGA Tour, with the exception of opposite events. And an opposite event is an event that's played against a major championship or even potentially a World Golf Championship. Their strengths of field just don't offer as many world ranking points. So we'll see. Like I said, I think we'll have somewhere in the 60, low 60s as far as ones that are eligible, and I think we'll end up right around 60 players here in Memphis. And then, Brett, to your question of Thursday and Friday, we have made a decision that we'll go off threesomes on Thursday and Friday off the first and 10th tee starting at 11 o'clock. So all of our golfers will be on the golf course from 11 to 1 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock are the tee times, and we'll go live on the Golf Channel right at 11, and we'll go to 4 o'clock. So very similar to what we did in 2019. And then on the weekend, we will go back to 1T on twosomes, starting around 7:45. Of course, all of that could fluctuate a little bit by the field size and things of that nature.
Weather.
But weather, of course, the dreaded W word, weather. So
don't sweat it.
But
Don't
we'll
sweat
react
it.
accordingly. And, but we'll go threesomes on Thursday and Friday and twosomes on Saturday and Sunday.
Again, give us the biggest names that have already committed. I think DJ is committed, right?
Yeah, so Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka are two,
Big.
two individuals that are, I talk to them. I talk about them just like I talk about Phil Mickelson. Those two have been tried and true to Memphis and to TPC Southwind, and are two of the players that we historically had every single year at the FedEx St. Jude Classic. So I think it shows you just actually how strong the FedEx St. Jude Classic was as well. But to have those two players at the top is something special. Sergio Garcia, of course, is also committed to play. He's a top 50 player in the world and won last year on the PGA Tour. Dustin and Brooks are probably those two that have committed thus far, but we do expect that we'll get a lot of commitments right after the Open Championship.
If I told you right now at AccuWeather.com for Thursday, August 5th, high of 89, low of 73, and I've got the pinpoint right on top of your office.
What's
TPC Southwind.
What's the humidity level?
Well, I don't know all that, but
I'll
find
take
you a
it.
shade tree.
I'll take it. I mean, I'll take 89. I'll take 99 and sunny. I'll be very honest. We'll take sun is the key. We'll have a lot of cold drinks. We'll have a lot of shade.
That's
It's
exactly
summertime
right.
in Memphis, and we're going to make sure that everybody has everything they need to have a great time here at Southwind. As long as it's dry, and we'll be able to have the best players in the world out at TPC Southwind, I can guarantee a good time for all.
Well, just for
In
reference,
fact, all 4 days it gets 1 degree cooler on every
Wow.
high and every low. 89, 88, 87, 86.
well,
You speak my language there.
just for reference, it's 91 here today, so it'd be cooler than today, and I think today is not so bad. So that would be outstanding. I noticed a few weeks ago when the AutoZone Liberty Bowl golf tournament was taking place at TPC Southwind that 8 had been redone. I think 8, I like the way it looks finally. I think that is an improvement. What are some of the other things that folks will see that might be slightly different because it's 2 years ago that we were all there?
Yeah, I mean, there has been some work that's been done on the 9th and 10th fairways, and most of that work has been done from a playing surface. It's not necessarily a rerouting. But they're on 9. It is a lot softer of a drop off on the right side of the fairway, which might be noticeable to some spectators. But we plan on a new variety of zoysia grass called Xeon Zoysia, which is our plan to put that grass all across our property in our fairways. It has a lot better playing surface. So, that's the big project that we did this year. It's the first time that we did it before the tournament. We historically do most of the project after the tournament, but just due to our tournament continuing to get later and later in the summer, we took advantage of being in August, and we did that project in March. Had plenty of time to grow that in, and also we don't have to inconvenience the members after the tournament. And honestly, after the tournament is to completion, we get into fall pretty quick. So we wanted to take advantage of the time frame and do that before the tournament. But that's a major change that you'll see from a golf course. You'll see a lot of new fan activations, a lot of the things that we debuted in 2019, like the pit between 8 and 9, birdies and bubbles out on overlooking the 14th green. Our friends from True Green have a new activation called the True Green Backyard. And then we got 2 new pouring partners, Tito's Vodka and Maestro Dobel Tequila, as well as a DraftKings mobile betting lounge, so the DraftKings house. So we're looking forward to all that stuff and a lot of things to do while you're on property.
We always enjoy chatting with you, Daryl,
Sounds
and
fun.
we will be doing this every week all the way through the tournament now. So we look forward to all of that, and I know you got work to do, so we'll let you go.
Thank you, Daryl.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
You got it.
That is Daryl Smith, who is the tournament director of the WGC FESJI. Is brought to you in part by Sheldon, Rosengarten, Mark Spensdorf. Would you be interested in a home on a half-acre wooded lot right in the heart of East Memphis near Park and Estate? Sheldon and Diane Benson-Malkin with Mark Spensdorf Realtors just put 1205 East Crestwood on the market, and it is special. Why? Well, it's got 4 bedrooms, and 2 of them are master suites, and everything is on one level. It's a ranch, no steps. It's got 3 large family areas, 3 baths, and a granite and gas kitchen. It's perfect for an in-law or spoiled teen suite and a roommate. If you'd like more information, or perhaps you want to hear your home advertised here, just like the one on Crestwood, all you got to do is call Sheldon, 483-0546, or you can reach him at memphisrelocate.com. Again, that's Sheldon, 483-0546, or memphisrelocate.com. And if you're a golfer, make a hole-in-one with Sheldon. We are back in just a matter of moments. There is some breaking news that has just come out, and I want to talk a little NIL. That is next on Sports Time on Sports 56.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Attention foodies, there's a great new place to eat in a great restored building. South Hall Cafe is now open for breakfast, brunch, and lunch in the former Tobacco Corner. Chef Jesus Ramon is creating classics from scratch with a twist. Enjoy all your favorites, including the best cheese grits in the South, a full bar, an in-house pastry chef, catering, online ordering for curbside or delivery, and a covered patio with live music on the weekends. We're open 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays and 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekends. South Hall Cafe, corner of Poplar and Mendenhall.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to trade up at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Hey, what's happening over there, Jeff Allen?
We got it going on, and we're ready to help you trade up to your next Kia. I've got a 2022 Kia Soul, not a lease, and 0.9% APR, $289 a month. 2022 Kia Sportage, 0% APR, and only $365 a month. And if you want American-made, we got it with 2022 Kia K5 now, $374 a month.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All $29.99 down payment, 60 months, sold in 715-0981, 0.9% MSRP, $20,685. Sportage in 79,79,540, 0% MSRP, $26,060. K5 NGO 95054, 0.9% MSRP, $25,840. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome in. Story just breaking right now, and that has to do with the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. They have been postponed tonight, apparently, because the Yankees have some COVID-19 issues. They were forced to scrap batting practice as they adhered to the league's COVID-19 health and safety protocol following a pair of positive tests. It's unclear if the results of additional testing are what caused the postponement, because there were two guys and they tested more. They made a number of roster moves prior to what was supposed to be the start of the second half, placing pitchers Nestor Cortez Jr. and Wandy Peralta on the COVID-19 injured health list. Man.
Today at Big 12 Media Days, it was official from them. This year, if you have roster limitations, if you have a spike, it will not be postponed. It will be a forfeit. It will count as a loss.
Wow. Well, that's a real incentive to get shots, right? I mean, to get vaccinated, although we are hearing some cases now where you can be fully vaccinated and you can still get COVID, usually, almost always. In fact, it is a mild case. But, we're still learning about the thing, aren't we? I mean,
Well, we really are, Dave. Without playing the blame game, really and truly, now with the value of hindsight, from the beginning when the most consistent message was, we don't really know what this is, but wash your hands.
Right.
That's when you probably knew you had something big.
Right. That is exactly right. Hey, I want to sort
NIL.
of tell people about the NIL. Because I think there's a sense, like if a school lost a player because somebody was getting money from an NIL and they didn't get it and they get mad or they get upset with the school or the coach or whatever it may be, the way the name, image, likeness thing is working at the moment, and if you're a guy who gives to the school, if you're a booster of any kind or a gal for that matter, and you love your school and you understand now that maybe some of the money that you used to give to a school is going to have to go to a player. It's not the school that can necessarily assign that to the player. What has to happen is you as a booster have to notify the player that you're interested in sponsoring him for services rendered. So if you own a business, say, and you want a player to endorse that and you're willing to give them money, that player's not coming to you. The school can't come to you legally. You basically have to go to the school to get the contact with the player and then contact the player. Unless he's got an agent, that's the other wrinkle in there. Players can't get agents for this kind of thing now. But you actually have to be the one that is the aggressor. So if you're trying to figure this thing out and you're like that booster in Miami that said, I'm going to pay every athlete $500 a month, I'm giving it to the school.
Make it rain.
Disperse it. Right. But you're the one that has to go and do that legwork and be the aggressor. And you've got to be the ones that go to the school and say, okay, I want to pay and I want to pay this guy. And you got to hook me up with his people. That could be him, it could be his dad, it could be his agent, whatever it may be. But you've got to be the proactive party in name, image, and likeness, the way it is currently set up. So if indeed some kid has already gotten some kind of a deal, it was the booster or the business that was proactive and contacted that particular party. That's the way it's got to be done. The coach cannot go to you. Penny can't go to you. Silverfield can't go to you. You got to go to them.
And Dave, what I'm getting ready to say, I mean friendly, and I was with him and some others. I mean joking. Don't you know that if the late Logan Young could have had this open?
Oh my goodness!
Woo! I mean, he would have seized, wouldn't he?
What?
And we know several other, flamboyant boosters of their teams.
He would have definitely done X amount per month to every football player at Alabama. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
I can hear him somewhere laughing, going, I was anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But now it's legal. Now you can even tell people about it. That's the truth.
I mean that friendly.
Yeah. This portion of our show brought to you by Memphis Golf. I love bragging about Memphis Golf. I love to play their golf courses. I love playing Galloway. It's in my neighborhood. I love playing Audubon, not too far away. I love playing Fox Meadows. You know, it used to be a country club. I love playing Pine Hill. I love the topography. And some of the toughest holes in the city are at Pine Hill. There's a couple of nice, easy ones. They're pretty. And it's going to be all changed come September or October when they redo the golf course. So if you feel nostalgic and you want to play this golf course that is going to be totally different next summer, please go play Pine Hill. And know that all these different courses have championships now. That's part of the goal of City Golf this year, is to have more amateur competition. So you get a sense of the rush of really what it's like when you're playing it down and you got to putt it in. Look, everybody gives you those putts. Phil Mickelson missed a one-footer today. That's why they make you putt it in. It's really fun to compete. And City Golf is doing a championship for Pine Hill, for Audubon, Fox Meadows, and for Galloway. And every one of those points that you get from that leads up to the Pub Links or the Hillman Robbins. Ladies, you got all kinds of amateur championships. Kids, if you want to learn, there are still clinics going on at Whitehaven. Moms and dads, send your kids to Whitehaven, and know that if your son or daughter is 14 years or younger and they want to walk, they can play any Memphis City Golf course for free. What a deal! Look, it is a deal. Memphis City Golf, a sporting tradition in Memphis for over 100 years. That's an hour in the books. When we come back to Orlando, we go to talk USA basketball and a series that we now have. The championships knotted at 2 games apiece between Milwaukee and Phoenix. And Keith Smith will chat about that in just a couple of minutes.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
If the pandemic's taught us anything, it's that the easiest way for germs to get into your body is the nose. We all know how to wash our hands, but how do you clean your nose? For over 2 million Americans, the answer is Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs that cause congestion, colds, and flu, so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. Better yet, Navage is all natural and drug-free. That's why one of America's top respiratory hospitals recommends nasal irrigation to stay healthy, explaining that bacteria and viruses thrive in warm and moist environments and that you can wash away those germs so they don't make your nose their home. Experience Navage at zero risk. Go to Navage.com, buy Navage, and use it for a month. If you're not delighted, return it for a full refund. There's nothing to lose and a lifetime of better breathing to gain. Also available at Target, Walgreens, CVS, Bed Bath, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together. I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today, shop our aggressive lease and finance options now. Luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome in hour number 2 on a terrific Thursday afternoon. It's British Open, or just the Open Championship Thursday. Louis Oosthuizen with an amazing 6 under today. He leads the way. Jordan Spieth and Brian Harman, both 5 under. Tough day for Phil Mickelson, 10 over, dead last, missed a 1-footer. How did that happen? I don't know. But it did, and not a good day for Phil Mickelson. Maybe he can right the ship tomorrow. One suspects he'll be coming home after tomorrow afternoon's play. In the meantime, last night, I didn't think much execution down the stretch. Phoenix Suns basically handed Game 4 to the Milwaukee Bucks. Great play by Middleton and Giannis. Don't want to take anything away from them, but I don't think I've ever seen Chris Paul play that poorly in a pressure situation at the end of a game when they could have won the game. But we got a series now, tied 2-2. To Orlando we go, and our friend from Yahoo Sports, who writes on the NBA, Keith Smith, joins us now. Did Milwaukee become the favorite after last night?
That's tough because Phoenix still has 2 home games to the 1 game left in Milwaukee. So we'll see if that's where it is. But it's anybody's series now at this point.
Well, Keith, what it does, we know it now. It's best 2 out of 3, and I thought it was going to be a 4-0 sweep, and I thought even after winning Game 3, it would be 4-1 Phoenix. What it would do to the refurbished, remodeled image of Chris Paul, this would be a crusher if they blew this.
Yeah, it'd be tough, but I mean, they were only up 2-0. This wasn't a situation where they were up, 3-0 or 3-1 and fell apart. So you never count out a team down 2-0, especially if they're going back home, because they're going to get that bounce. But yeah, if you're Chris Paul, you just start doing a little bit of math, and you start to wonder how many more times is he going to have this kind of shot in front of him.
Do you think he is running out of gas? I know he didn't play toward the end of the year, but he had been brilliant in many of these playoff games, and he was in the first 2 games. He did not look himself in either of the games in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I don't know that he's running out of gas as much as I think the Bucks switched up their coverages and really said, Drew Holiday, you got him.
Yeah.
You're going to guard him all night. You're going to fight through screen, if that's what we need be, and that's how we're going to play this. And that's really worked out great for them. So I don't know as much as Chris Paul has run out of gas as he's run into one of the better defensive guards who's really locked in and done quite well.
And while Mike Budenholzer had, by me and by a lot bigger than me, had been really knocked around for his coaching in this round of playoffs and in this series, he has made some changes, and his superstar, no doubt his superstar is doing what he needs to do, and now Chris Middleton with the game he had last night. So what do you think? How does this shake out? Is everybody going to hold serve at home?
I don't know that everybody's going to hold serve at home, but I do think this is going to go 7. And then we all know in a game 7, anything can happen. Now, I picked, if Giannis was healthy and himself, I liked Bucks in 7. So I won't move off that. I'll stick with that pick. But, yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch how this plays out the rest of the way, because now it's the Suns' turn. They've got some adjustments to make.
When you look at the way Phoenix executed last night, where were the problems? It's not just Chris Paul, and Booker played great. What are the other issues that Monty Williams is going to have to rethink?
It had a lot of defensive breakdowns. There was multiple plays where the Bucks went to the basket, and quite frankly, there probably should have been foul calls that weren't made, so that doesn't look maybe as bad as it probably should have. They really don't have a good answer to guard Chris Middleton. Jay Crowder has to guard Giannis, and Mikal Bridges is a wonderful defender, but Middleton's such a savvy ball handler, kind of gets to his spot, and that makes it kind of tough on Bridges. Maybe they go to Torrey Craig. That's going to cause you offensive issues. So I'm not sure what they're going to pull out that looks really different. And then the other thing that they're kind of struggling with at times is when DeAndre Ayton has to leave the floor, and he does have to get a break at some point in these games, without Dario Saric, they just don't have a good answer. There's really nothing left in their big man rotation that they can go to.
That's a good point. And you look at that box score. That is a thin box score. I mean, Phoenix only sent 8 people either in the starting lineup or to the scorers table. Only sent 3 to the scorers table. Started 5, sent 3 to the scorers table all night.
Yeah, and I don't know that Monty Williams has much of a choice. They don't have a ton of depth. What they had was good functional depth. Their 8, 9 guys were all pretty good, and you felt really good about them. But when you're looking at it and you have to go and you lose one of them, they don't have that guy to step in that's going to slide in and do that. I know they've rolled Frank Kaminsky out a couple different times, but this is a little bit out of his depth. These guys are a little bit too good for him to handle that. So I think if you're Monty Williams, you're hoping you can kind of patch it together with string and bubble gum for 3 more games and hope it holds out.
That is a whole lot different feel than we had leaving Phoenix to go to Milwaukee. So it will be kind of fun to watch all of that. What's the biggest surprise so far through 4 games in your mind that you were not expecting from this series?
That's a good question. I would say probably Drew Holiday's struggles offensively. It's been really a miserable playoffs for him as an offensive player, especially the last couple of rounds. He's really had a tough go of it. So I'd say it's probably that. And then on the other side, I would say how great DeAndre Ayton has been, on both ends of the floor. I think he's, really proven that, when we all think about Luka Doncic and Trae Young from that draft class, but DeAndre Ayton is every bit as deserving of the love he's getting as a top pick from that class.
Keith, it's really a strange juxtaposition that this series, of course, it'll come down to the stars having to perform, but it also could come down to who's better between these two guys, Cam Johnson or Pat Connaughton.
Yeah, that's a great question. It may, the Bucks needed Pat Connaughton to step up in a big way without Dante DiVincenzo, and he's really done that. And then on the Sun side, Cam Johnson, they may need to go to him even more than they have. If they're going to, they may need to just lean and say, you know what, we're going to go small. And it's going to be rough at times for us defensively, but we'll make up for it on the offensive end because Cam Johnson is that good. And that may be the answer for them is just say, forget it, let's just go super small and become really hard for them to guard us because I don't know that they have a lot of better options.
You're talking about surprises for me, and I really am not surprised about it. I'm really pleased at the play of Jay Crowder. Here's a guy, as a Grizzly, he was not a starter. Okay, he would come off the bench, and he was leadership, and was clearly a team player. Here he is, an incredibly big-time starter on a team playing in the finals, and has contributed well. He's a great story.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about self-made players. He's as self-made as they come. A second-round pick that was kind of, all right, maybe he might be something, and looked okay in Dallas and really played well in Boston. Boston really didn't want to give him up, but he was part of that Kyrie Irving trade. Played well for the Cavs, then went to the Jazz, then off to all there in Memphis, and then to Miami, and now with Phoenix. And when you hear coaches talk a lot, they talk about guys who just play and contribute to winning, and that's 100% what Jay Crowder is. He's going to do whatever you ask. He was a guy who came in the league, thought of as more of a 2-3, and now he's really more of a small ball 4 than he is anything else. He's really, tweaked and changed his game. So, yeah, I can't be happier to see him doing so well and such a big part of such a good team.
Keith, everything will be dissected. And I don't know it to be a fact, but I think the long wait now until Saturday night, those guys are used to travel. They're used to the hotel scene. They're used to, having to find a place to have practice, whether it's a gym or the arena they're playing in. I think it helps the Bucks this wait for the Suns to kind of sit there and think about it and have to stew in it a little bit.
Yeah, you have that part of it. Now on the flip side, the Suns have a couple guys who are carrying pretty heavy minutes load, so a couple days off their feet are pretty good for them. So I think it's one of those things we'll see. It's probably going to end up being more one of those stories. Whoever comes out poorly to start Game 5, we'll decide that it helped the other team more than it did the other one who came out and started poorly.
Keith, did we have this many days off in the championship series in the last few years? It seems to me that 3 days off was something we were not seeing before.
Yeah, no, we usually have there's almost always 2 games off when they travel. You're gonna have 2 days off, so there's a travel day and then a day off where really is a practice day, and then you play. That's generally how it's gone. Over the last few years, they try to align it so that they're hitting the good nights for TV.
Yeah,
that's really what it ultimately comes down to. So that's why we're seeing this lineup the way it has.
Keith, you tweeted last Saturday night during the first loss for Team USA that you weren't going to freak out over exhibition games. So with the second loss and a win and get ready to play again tomorrow in a rematch against Australia, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being freak out, we have no answer for the rest of the world, and 1 being no big deal, where's your level of concern about Team USA?
5 or 6. I think
the
rest of the world has caught up. Yeah, the rest of the world has caught up, so I'm not as surprised that it goes this way anymore. It is no longer enough for Team USA to show up, treat their first few games as, all right, that's kind of how we get into rhythm with playing with each other. They have to be good out of the gate. These teams are too good. Look at that Nigeria team. They had 8 NBA players on that roster. Australia filled with NBA players. Argentina has a handful of NBA guys and some former NBA guys. When they actually get overseas in their group, they're going to have France. France is full of NBA players and beat Team USA in the World Cup a couple years ago. So I'm not as freaked out because I kind of expect it to go this way. The Nigeria loss doesn't bother me as much because, again, that team's pretty good. They're loaded with talent. But you could see Pop by the end was playing some weird lineups, doing some goofy stuff, doing some things that was like, really this? Right now, because he didn't care about winning these exhibition games. He's trying to get his team position to win when the Olympics themselves start. So I'm worried, but I'm not completely panicked and freaked out. I am a little worried with the positive COVID test that's a little concerning. And then Jason Tatum, we'll find out if that knee issue is anything more than he just needed a night to sit out on a back-to-back, or is it a big deal? Those things are do become a little concerning.
All right, Bradley Beal now out because of COVID. It could be that Jeremy Grant will be out too. They're looking for replacements. You're adding Booker, Holiday, and Middleton to that crew anyway, no matter which way you look at to go to Tokyo. Is this maybe a blessing in disguise that they can figure out what the flaws have been, and they're going to have two bodies to replace in Beal and probably Grant?
Yeah, and I think sometimes, my guess is what they'll do is they'll replace him with a couple guys from the select team, and they're probably going to be a couple of the guys who are already up with them right now. I know Keldon Johnson is one of them, and what that almost does, which helps you out with Team USA, is they're lesser players, but you don't feel the pressure to play them. When you have 12 superstar guys on Team USA, there's a pressure to play them because nobody wants to be the guy who went to the Olympics and, with Christian Laettner and got in, when there was 5-6 minutes left and the team was up by 60. Nobody wants to be that guy. So I think that can help Pop cut his rotations down, really play his best guys more, and get into a position. I'm not sold that the Booker, Middleton, Holiday threesome comes in and is really, the answer to everything that they need to, solve and stuff, because I don't know how much they're going to have left after, if this finals goes 7 games, those guys are going to be pretty wiped out and then have to travel, halfway around the world,
right,
in the span of a couple days. That could be a little rough.
What about the Kevin Love situation? You think he might make a change at that position because Love's just not in good enough shape?
Yeah, I don't think so. My guess is that they're going to want him to be their kind of big man zone buster. And I don't know how great a shape he needs to be in to kind of fill that role for them. So that's my guess is they'll just roll forward with that because it is starting to get somewhat limited on the players you can pull because they're leaving here. I want to say it's in about another 3 or 4 days. So you have to really get this sorted out very soon because they've got to get over there, get tested, quarantined, and all that stuff.
Yep. They play again tomorrow. It'll be a replay with Australia. They were big favorites in that game. They lost, and they got killed down the stretch of the third and fourth quarter. We'll see if they right that ship, and we'll get a little inkling as to what Pop is going to do as they get closer to Tokyo. As always, Keith, we appreciate your time. I know you're traveling. We appreciate you giving us that time today, and we'll talk with you next week.
No problem. Yeah, we're about midway through North Carolina on our way up to the homeland of Massachusetts for me. So thank you so much for those well wishes.
Okay. To the homeland. I love that.
Thank you. That's nice. That's nice. Always good to go home.
That is great. We'll let you know our title sponsor for this hour of the program. It's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. I've been bragging about that new Tucson. Man, that looks so good in all those commercials. It looks like a car from tomorrow. It's got that safety. It's got all that technology. It's durable, just like the Genesis cars. You got the safety of the Hyundais. You got the bells and the whistles and the safety with those Genesis cars. Look at that SUV and the 15 airbags that were deployed in the Tiger Woods accident. Just amazing stuff. And durability, too. Every new car gets a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. And it is that durable product that they believe in taking care of for you. That's the philosophy of Chris True. He is over both the Hyundai and the Genesis shops right there at Craft Road and Highway 78. He believes to take care of you, he's got to give you something. He's going to give you a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package so that every time you go in to get your oil change or your tires rotated or a check of all the fluids, everything, making sure that your car is running at peak efficiency, you don't pay for that. That's on them because they want to make sure they're taking care of you and that your ride is terrific. Please go see those guys. You'll love them. They're a team that's been together for 14 years. You'll know it the minute you walk in. They've worked together, whether it's selling or finance, just making sure maintenance, they've all been together. They know the routine. I promise you, you'll smile when you leave. Homer Skelton Hyundai or Genesis of Olive Branch right there. Craft Road, Highway 78 in Olive Branch.
Dave, you know how you can sometimes get lost at YouTube watching old games or somewhere on the internet, just kind of go down that rabbit hole. Boy, I did it today, but I had fun doing it. So I was doing some research on USA basketball and went back to when it was all college players.
Yeah.
And I remember him on this team, but I found teams in like odd years, like 82, not 80 or 84 Olympic teams, and 78, not 76 or 80 Olympic teams. And I remember Joe Klein when we were at Fayetteville, him on and of course he was on the 84 gold medal team in Los Angeles,
right?
But he was on the 82 silver winning team in Columbia. And
those are the FIBA World Championships, right?
I think that's what the tie-in is.
Yeah, FIBA World Games.
And I remember him coming back to Fayetteville and saying, nobody could cover. There's nobody on earth that can cover Arvydas Sabonis, who was playing, for the Soviet Union then. But this is an odd one for Razorback fans. I found it interesting. In 78. Okay, Arkansas plays and loses in the national semifinals to Kentucky at the Final Four in 78, and that was his senior year. His eligibility was up. Later that fall, one of the three triplets, Marvin Delph, plays on it was fall World Cup or World Championships, and he played on the U.S. team after college was done. I know he got drafted, but he didn't try out and didn't make a pro team, so he was still an amateur, and I didn't remember that at all.
I don't remember that either. I should. But
Quinn Buckner on the 74 team, and
that I remember.
You thought he was and of course he was gold medalist in 76. Had the double that year, won it all with IU and undefeated,
right?
And then won it all in Montreal playing for Dean. How about that? Win a national championship with Bob Knight, and then that summer in Montreal win one with Dean Smith.
Yeah, that's pretty heady territory.
Yeah, and you know I think the Puerto Rican team, I know he was the Puerto Rican team that the United States, Gene Bartow, and with Butch Lee as their star in 76.
That's right.
Man, I got lost in these box scores today.
I'll bet.
I really didn't get a darn thing accomplished for next week at SEC Media Days, getting lost at USA Basketball site today.
Well, that is kind of fun. There's no doubt, and the history was so great, so dominating. But as I have said, and Keith Smith reiterated just a few minutes ago, the world is catching up, and nothing would shock me about the United States with Pop and with all the stars that they're missing not winning a gold medal in Tokyo. I certainly
would not shock you.
Yeah,
wow, I would be floored.
I hope that is not the case, but it would not at this point be shocking to me. And I think the games
during the Olympics, we got to get Joe Klein on to talk Olympic basketball.
Absolutely. There is some college basketball news today. Happened earlier today. Moussa Cisse has a new place. Moussa Cisse is going to Oklahoma State. They've gotten a lot of transfers. They're going to look a little bit different. They got a new coach too. No, they don't. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Texas Tech there for a minute. Moussa. Did you read any of the quotes that Cisse was saying when he talked about why he was going to Oklahoma State and how much work he's done?
And I hate to be this guy. I really do. The player that doesn't sign with the local team that's real or perceived your team, and then you trash him, or the player that transferred. And I'm not trashing him, but wherever he goes, whether it's back at Memphis or now to Oklahoma State, he's got a lot of basic fundamental basketball development to do.
Well, he said in the conversation he was having about why he chose to go to Oklahoma State, he talked about how good they are at developing people, and he's been at a gym someplace. Maybe it was Atlanta that he left Memphis for and went to work out, and how much he's been working on his mid-range shooting game offensively and catching the ball. Well, he's saying the right things. I'm going to give him a lot of credit for that. his footwork did improve as a Tiger from day one to the NIT. No doubt about that. He also talked about shooting a bunch of free throws. He knows he's got to be better there because you can't play the guy at the end of games, and that was one of his gripes with Memphis was that he wasn't playing at the end of those NIT games, and he wanted to. Well, you couldn't put him in there when you're shooting 30%. Frankly, in my mind, when he talked about how he practiced catching the ball and his hands are much better, that I want to see. Because
I want to see it.
I hope fear he has. I had in him, and I mentioned it during the year. It's not like I'm mentioning it now because he's no longer a Tiger. I'm not sure that you can develop really good, soft, target Keith Lee kind of hands if you don't.
That's a high bar.
if you don't have hands to begin with.
Yeah,
I think
when they're
like
of
speed.
stone.
Yeah.
When they're stone, they're stone. I mean, how do you soften up? Now, Keith Lee, I mean, you could not handcuff him. I mean, you could not.
No.
If he had wanted to been, he'd have been a great first baseman because he could just catch anything, low, high, errant.
Soft,
it was
beautiful.
It was unbelievable.
So,
but Dave, I'm with you, and I know you remember, and it's a way back long ago drill. But remember the pitch back machine, the net that you just throw it and it spring back to you. Throw it and it spring back to you.
Right.
That every basketball gym had around in the 70s, 80s.
Right.
He needs that. He needs to jump rope 1,000 times a day. And this drill that big men used to do where they would be under the goal and slide a little bit to their left if they're right-handed and lay it in left-handed.
Right.
Get the ball back, go slide to the right, lay it in right-handed. I saw Eddie Sutton do that with Joe Klein for hours, and it made him so good around the bucket.
Well, I watched Cody Topper do those kinds of drills, left hand, right hand, going back and forth before ball games all year long in Memphis because we weren't allowed to travel until they went to Dallas and to Fort Worth for the postseason. And Musa really struggled. I mean, he would try, and he was doing those drills pregame, but he would make, I'm talking about underneath the basket, first the right hand, then the left hand. His percentages were under 50% from that. And, he's got a lot of work to do.
That's with nobody around and nobody guarding you.
But he had the right attitude, and I think he went to that G League camp, and I don't think they discouraged him. I really don't. So maybe he's got the right attitude, and maybe he'll be a much better player for Oklahoma State. I really hope for the kid that he is, and maybe it was good for him to go away because he obviously recognized he needed more development. He said
every utterance that I and we have said, I think we would say the very same thing if he was back as a Tiger.
No doubt. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will update you on what has happened at the Open Championship today, and there were some really, really good scores and some really, really bad scores. We'll tell you all about that in just a minute.
Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane comes your way every weekday morning from 7 till 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Mike, I understand you need the parts.
Carly's Car Shop demands more engine-fixing horsepower. They need to floor it to find their staff some backup.
We need to finish up that coupe today. It cannot be here for another 2 weeks.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Like, I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Hot night outside. Worked all day. Got up early to watch the Open Championship. You don't want to cook tonight. You just make it easy on yourself. Get a great meal by going to see our friend Walker Taylor and all the crew at either of the commissaries. That would be in Germantown or in Collierville. You know the one in Germantown, been there forever. You can go inside, pick it up, and take it home if you like, or stop in, hang around. It's always a very nice, beautiful, little intimate place. I've always really appreciated that. Or you can go to the Palace. That's the new one in Collierville right there. Or Germantown.
Dave, anybody that knows me at SEC Media Days knows I'm the guy with the stash of Coca-Colas. You know, I keep a Coke around pretty handy. Mm-hmm. That's kind of my coffee.
Yeah.
And I take ice chests because they have complimentary drinks there, Dr. Pepper, but I think Dr. Pepper's cold cough syrup. So I take me a stash of Coca-Colas always. And in my ice chest that I'm already starting to pack, 2, not 1, but 2 lemon icebox pies will be in there from the commissary for me to take down to my buddies at SEC Media Days.
Wow. Oh, they'll love you.
Get a slice of this.
Maybe that's the way you can entice a coach or the commissioner over. I like your thinking.
Now, they say the way to get Nick Saban over is that he loves the Stones and loves talking about how many times he's seen them in concert.
Really?
We've chit-chatted about that. So maybe between Walker Taylor's Lemon Icebox Pie and some Stones conversation, Walker Taylor's going to be one of our sponsors next week, and we appreciate Walker so much, commissary in Germantown and Collierville, and all our great sponsors next week, All-Star Chevrolet and Olive Branch, Belly Acres, Golf Sticks Pretzels. I'm taking a big box of pretzels down. Jason's Deli, Memphis Tourism Sports Council, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Ronnie Grisani's, as we said, the commissary in Germantown and Collierville.
Louis Oosthuizen is your leader. Everybody was telling us,
why didn't you take
Louis? I don't know why. I first of all, it's not over. You can't win the thing. And my guy Brooks Koepka's 1 under.
Big game, Brooks.
I still think there's a chance there, but
I think Koepka hates the golf course.
He does not like it, and I knew that, and I said that yesterday, and I went with him anyway. And I could have taken Louis, and we had Ted say it. We had DJ say it. A lot of people said Usti is the way to go, and he was terrific today. So he shot a 6 under par total, 64. It is par 70 there. Jordan Spieth was outstanding today, 5 under par. So he ends up shooting a 65 along with Brian Harman. Brian Harman is a guy that is a really good shock pick for us this year. Although every time I pick Brian Harman, he does nothing. Squat diddly. Nothing. Nada. Bagel.
He really does.
So I didn't go that way, but I wish I had now. Who is Benjamin Hebert? Do you know?
That's who I picked. He was my shot pick.
Oh,
Hebert.
Hebert is your shot pick? Seriously?
Yeah. Well, no. I told you I was going to try to split the middle and cheat y'all.
Wait a second.
I took Lucas Herbert.
Yes, you did. No, it's not Lucas. It's Lionel Herbert.
No,
Lionel.
it's Lucas.
No.
It's Lucas Herbert.
I wrote it down as Lionel.
It's Lucas. I promise. I may have said Lionel. I think I did say Lionel.
You said Lionel.
That's the old school guy.
Wow.
All right, well, so give me Hebert then.
You don't get Hebert. No way. You're
Who's
not
on
getting
first?
Hebert. So Hebert.
I don't know anything about him.
I know nothing. He's at 4
Frenchman?
under. I think it's French. Yeah, the red, white, and blue flag with the stripes vertical. I think that's French. Yeah.
That's a pretty flag.
It is a pretty flag. Hebert is tied with Webb Simpson and.
Remember when I had Webb Simpson this year? He WD'd at the Wells Fargo in North Carolina, Mr. North Carolina Golf.
Right.
3 holes and his back was hurt.
And Dylan Fratelli.
Man, the year I've had in these picks.
You've been terrible. Let's be honest. So Hebert, Simpson, Fratelli, Mackenzie Hughes, the Canadian, Stuart Sink, they're all at 4 under, so they're tied for 4th. Then here comes Colin Morikawa. That's what the youngsters
Team Young.
picked. Yeah, Team Young picked that, along with Marcel Siem.
You know, Drew Barrett texted me today and said that if Andy Sullivan wins, he's claiming golf picking win this year and will hang a banner.
Well, let me ask you something. He had Andy Sullivan a month ago, and Andy Sullivan did not make the cut, and he's going to claim him in a contest he's not even picking anymore?
He says he's even going to demand public apologies from us. I said, well, you won't get one.
Well, first of all, he's in a
You
group.
won't get 2, you won't get 3.
He is in a group with Tommy Fleetwood, Danny Willett, Colin Morikawa, Justin Rose, Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he's the unknown of all those people.
I do, and I heard I heard Jordan Spieth say this today, and Justin Leonard then elaborated on it on set at Golf Channel, and they're not over there. The big 3, Chambly, Lerner, Leonard are in the studios in Connecticut. They're not.
They didn't go because of protocol?
It just too much trouble, and you know NBC's getting their feed only from BBC. No NBC cameras on site.
Wow, but
that's that kind of year.
Is Dan Hicks and Mike Tirico and
Mike
Paul
Tirico
Azinger?
Mike Tirico is not. I think he's already in Tokyo, but I do think Azinger and Dan Hicks are there.
Yeah,
but so it's that kind of year and. That was one of the big stories last year. That was Fox to CBS. No, that was Fox to to CBS when they lost the. No, that was Fox to NBC when they lost the U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open went to NBC because they'd had it before.
That was big last year.
Yeah,
but Jordan Spieth and Justin Leonard were talking about Texas players and that wind. And Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth, I think, will be around all weekend because of that.
I think that could very well be. Scheffler is a guy, he fits the description of guys who have won at Royal St. George, right? I mean, you're talking about a Ben Curtis or a Darren Clark, or Bill Rogers for that matter.
He really does. Bill Rogers was a Texan.
Yeah. So
Texarkana, Texas.
Those Scotty Scheffler is the makeup that is a guy that wins at Royal St. George. At 2 under, you got Francesco Molinari. That dude deserves to win a major, doesn't he? As close as
he won the British Open in 18.
Oh, he did win it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
I think you're confusing with his brother.
Yeah, I am.
Eduardo.
Francesco in it at 2 under. The American Keith Mitchell is in that. Victor Hovland, who for some reason was 40-1. I don't understand that. He's 2 under. Paul Casey's 2 under. Dustin Johnson's 2 under. Sergio Garcia's 2 under. Brandt Snedeker is 2 under. Then you got a bunch of Americans: Xander Schauffele, Ricky Fowler, Brooks Koepka, all at 1 under par. Joel Damon is at 1 under par. Joaquin Niemann is at 1 under par. Cameron Tringale is at 1 under par. A bunch at even par.
Ricky Fowler.
I mentioned him. Harold Varner III, Tony Finau, even par. Russell Henley, Kevin Kisner, Rory McIlroy, Max Homa, Jimmy Walker, another Texan, even par.
Baylor.
Jason Kokrak, Daniel Berger, even par. Kevin Streelman, even par. Then you got Keegan Bradley's at 1 over par. Matt Fitzpatrick, by the way, good player from England, is 1 over. Henrik Stenson is 1 over. Darren Clark, wow, I'm surprised. He's only 1 over. And this course got hard today. Sam Burns 1 over. DeChambeau, complaining and crying.
Have you
about
read
his
that
driver.
statement?
I have read that statement.
Do you want to read it?
Go ahead. Read it out loud.
I don't have it in front of me.
I
Brian,
do
do you
not
have it
either.
in front of you?
got-
I have it. Give me a second.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Read it verbatim.
Read that statement verbatim. You would think this, honestly, unless something dramatic happens, Bryson
They're done.
DeChambeau's deal with Cobra
It's over.
is history as soon as they can get out of it. Brian, go ahead and read that.
So this was from Ben Showman, who obviously was his caddy,
Yeah.
also works for Cobra. He said, everybody is bending over backwards. We've got multiple guys in R&D who are CADing this and CADing that, trying to get this and that into the pipeline faster. Bryson knows it. It's just really, really painful when he says something that's stupid. He has never really been happy ever. Like, it's very rare when he's happy. Now he's in a place where he's swinging a 5-degree driver with 200 mile per hour of ball speed. Everybody is looking for a magic bullet. Well, the magic bullets never becomes harder and harder to find the faster you swing and the lower your loft gets. Then he says, so when we're talking about the razor's edge, we're not going to be able to help that. And then finally he says, it's like an 8-year-old that gets mad at you. Ooh. They might fly off and handle and say, I hate you, but then you go, whoa, no you don't. We know as adults that they really don't mean that, and I know that if I call him concerned right now and said, what did you say that for? He would say he was mad, he didn't really mean to say it that harshly, he knows how much everybody bends over backwards for him, but it's still not cool.
Yeah, you know what? I read everything in there except for the 8-year-old line. I did say he said if I asked him why he said that, he'd say I was mad, and there's got to come
okay
a time.
for an 8-year-old.
The only thing that would keep Cobra and DeChambeau together is if he comes out, really apologizes, which I suspect he will, and then continues to win. But if he doesn't, why would you want somebody taking a shot at your own equipment on a regular basis? He's going to go on a commercial and say how great it is, and then when the round's over, he goes, and this is the direct quote, my driver sucks.
See, Dave, I think there were a couple of loaded words in there. 8-year-old's pretty loaded. Stupid's very loaded.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. No, they're tired of him. They're tired of him.
I mean, when you call somebody stupid, that's right up there to a line.
Just remember this. That was the guy who worked with him last week who's been trying to bail him out. That's not the company. That's one guy from the company. So we haven't heard from the head of the corporation. But
good cop, bad cop, you think maybe it play?
I don't know. Maybe that's to stop it. Maybe this guy, what is his name? Showman, I think.
Uh-huh.
I think Showman is maybe trying to somehow intervene and be harsh so that it's easier on him, or he's just had it and he doesn't care what the company thinks. He's had enough of Bryson DeChambeau, much the way the caddy had enough.
And Dave, we can remember a time, not as much anymore because how things have changed in media, but we can remember when coaches very much would motivate and use the media to motivate a player.
Sure.
Maybe Showman is doing that.
Maybe so. But DeChambeau wasn't terrible. I mean, he had 4 fairways, and he still only shot 1 over, so he was able to muscle it out, and I think he hit like 14 greens in regulation.
So, I'll tell you another thing he does that bugs me. Every time he mishits ones, he kind of wants to look at his spikes like he slipped, or it's always something else. But I talked to a guy that swears he is a great guy.
Well, he might be. When you're competing, it's a whole different level, and some of those guys can't take responsibility for their own mistakes. Look at Bubba Watson. Remember blaming his caddy for the 2 bad shots he hit? That always,
I didn't talk to anybody who said he was a great guy.
No, you're right. John Rahm was also 1 over, just like DeChambeau today. So was Shane Lowry and Lee Westwood. That would be a great. I tell you what, I would love for Lee Westwood to win one, even though he doesn't wear the right package company. Charlie Hoffman 2 over today. That's a good story in its own right. Justin Thomas 2 over today. That's not good for him or for Patrick Reed. Ryan Palmer 2 over. My shock pick Ian Poulter 2 over.
He's done.
Troy.
We all were pulling against him anyway. So
2 over and it's done.
Oh,
where is your shot guy? Gary Woodland's 3 over.
My shot guy is Lucas, not Lionel.
Your guy is like, I don't even see him. Matt Kuchar,
No.
Patrick Cantlay, and Matt Kuchar 4 over today. That's tied for 127. That doesn't get it. Alex Noren.
Lucas/Lionel even par.
What?
Luke, I got Lucas Herbert. He's even par, T48. I promise you, with Matt Wallace.
I'm looking.
That's my shot. I promise you that. I got it in front of me.
Okay. I'll give you that. He's even par.
Lucas/Lionel.
My guy's 2 over. I like his position. He's going to make it. What is 2 over? 2 overs tied for 91. All he's got to do is have a decent day tomorrow. I mean, you think Justin Thomas and Patrick Reed aren't going to make it? Come on.
We'll see.
Yeah. Boy, I was surprised Alex Noren 4 over today. Martin Keimer.
Boy, you tried riding him and couldn't get anything.
How about
out
Jason Day's 5 over today? Mark Leishman's 5 over today.
A lot of people pick Mark Leishman.
I know it. That was terrible. Harris English 5 over. Lucas Glover 5 over. But the worst, Phil Mickelson, 10 over
80.
par. 80 he shot today. 80.
Dave, have you ever been on a United Kingdom, Scotland, any golf trip over there?
No, I am planning on doing that. And I'm going to have to get with the packager because I'm not going over there and not playing St. Andrews. I mean, it's just I'll pay.
Oh,
for
you have to.
You got to walk though, so I got to do it in the next few years because
you're spry.
Oh yeah, I could make it right now if we went tomorrow, but you never know. And you've got to walk those golf courses.
Yeah, no buggies.
No buggies. Same way with Bandon Dunes or Cabot Lodge. A lot of those places. Whistling Straits, had a walk. Good stuff. I loved it. I really did. There is your Open Championship leaderboard. We got to take a break. I'll let you know this portion of the show brought to you by Poppy's. That's Poppy's Pills. That's the Pilsner that is coming your way from Grind City Brewing. They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, and they are in a lot of ways. Tiger Tail, we love that. Now here comes a Pilsner, so good, so long. It took 6 years to make this perfect. They got it perfect, and it's a hit. It's already not just in the brewery, but in liquor stores and in Kroger. You can get this Pilsner. It's perfect if you like a little lighter beer. Not those heavy IPAs. If you like a Pilsner, a lighter beer, perfect for after golf when you're thirsty, perfect for grill outs, perfect at the beach. That is what this Pilsner 4% alcohol is all about. Sometimes you get a beer so smooth and crushable, it cures what ails you. You take 2 of these pills, we guarantee you'll be calling for more. Just what the doctor ordered. Poppy's Pills, the Pilsner from Grind City Brewing. Back with a wrap of this second hour on this Thursday in just a minute.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays. Only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. When I talk to people about selling their homes or buying one, my motto is stick to your game plan. I learned this from my friend Coach Terry Tippett. Coach, you didn't go into a game without having a plan, did you?
No, Sheldon. Having a plan was critical to the success of all my teams.
That's right, Coach. Sticking to your game plan helped you win 4 state championships.
That's wrong, Sheldon. It was 6, just like the number of shots you make on a par 3.
Well, Coach, we've played golf together. What advice can you give me about my game?
You probably need to stick to real estate, as you're much better at doing that. Or perhaps bowling.
Great advice about real estate, not bowling. And as I always tell people, if they're thinking of selling their home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and let me be one of them. As they often say, when you want the job done, Coach, who should they call?
Sheldon, of course.
You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
Is your bank standing in the way of you and your sportsbook? Try Action 24/7. We're cutting out the middleman. Deposit or withdrawal in cash. No more bank delays or failures. Action 24/7 has more than 100 partners in Tennessee for cash deposits and withdrawals. Visit action247.com for a location. Cash deposits and withdrawals from your Tennessee sportsbook. Action247.com. You got action.
Must be 21 or older and in Tennessee. For problem gambling support, call 800-889-9789.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Cruising through hour number 2 on this terrific Thursday, Open Championship Thursday. Who do you think, Brett Norsworthy, has the number 1 selling NBA jersey around the world?
LeBron James.
Bingo. You're so good. Who's number 2? This might surprise you.
Kevin Durant.
No.
James Harden.
He's 3. James Harden is 9.
James Harden's 9?
James Harden is 9.
Number 2, Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic is 4. You're dancing around it.
Boy, I am. East or West?
Still playing. How about if I just say that?
Still playing. Chris Paul.
No. Chris Paul is not on the list.
Giannis,
the
Bryant,
youngster.
Very good, Bryant. Way to go.
Youth
Way to go.
Comes through
Way
again.
to go.
He's number 2, Durant 3, Doncic 4, Jason Tatum. I know you love Jason Tatum.
I do.
He is 5. Devin Booker is 6. Steph Curry is 7. Kyrie is 8. James Harden, 9. It's hard to believe Chris Paul's not on this list. Damian Lillard is 10. Trae Young is 11. Joel Embiid is 12. Anthony Davis, how the mighty have fallen. He's all the way down to 13. Kawhi Leonard is 15. Ja Morant, 14. And only going to go upward, all right? I mean, only
just 2 years in.
Going to go upward, yeah. I thought that
because
was
some of those will
pretty
move out with the passage of time. Anthony Davis on that route.
Well, I think Anthony Davis will move up. I do. I think they'll have a good year next year. He'll get better. He just has to. I don't think he works hard enough.
Can he stay healthy?
Yeah, well, that's the key.
Never has.
Let's see. Doncic will move up. LeBron's going to move down, right? Durant's not going to go anywhere. Tatum is going to stay in the same area. Booker could move up if the Suns win this thing.
Wonder where Kobe sales are. I wonder how many jerseys of his are still being sold.
That's a great question. It still boggles my mind, at least up until last year. I don't know the latest, that Penny Hardaway, after all this time, still had the number 3 selling shoe at Nike. Tell me that isn't amazing.
It is.
The guy played in the 90s.
That's another Olympic gold medal winner we need to have on during the Olympics.
We can work on that.
I don't think Penny gets enough credit for that. I mean, yes, I know 92 Dream Team blocked out the sun, but 96 went right back out there and did it again and did it as well, and he was a part of that.
No, he was. Those guys, people. It's all worked out for Penny. I don't think we have to feel sorry for Penny Hardaway, but if Penny Hardaway had not gotten hurt. And the same thing for Keith Lee, and I really feel sorry for Keith because, he never got the acclaim or the fortune, frankly, that Penny Hardaway got. And Keith might be the greatest college basketball player I got to see night in and night out. He was just amazing. But Penny would have been even higher in the all-time rankings had he not been injured. There's no doubt about that in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind either when you're looking at men's stores. The greatest of all time. Without question, it's James Davis. Clearly the best in all of Memphis. It's the only men's store in our region that has the Stant Perfect Fit shirts and now pants, the perfect fit with just 2 measurements. And everything, the leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body because of this incredible computer algorithm. It's technology, and the only place to get this perfect fit at the most reasonable prices would be James Davis. And the James Davis Men's Store summer sale is going on right now. You got to go see Shine and Warner and all that crew. You got to go over, tell them we sent you, ask about some of the wonderful summer fashions and the sales that are going on right now. Only place to get Toomey luggage at a good price. I'm telling you, that's the best luggage there is. All the khakis and all the shorts from Bill's, all in the house. The only place, again, to get the perfect, absolute custom system, shirts or pants. That's Stant, and only in the Laurelwood Shopping Center at James Davis. There's 2 hours in the books. We'll talk some Tigers with our friend, Greg Gaston. He was off last week. He's back, and he's next.
Hey, Memphis, thinking about buying a truck or SUV? Then come to the Sunrise Truck Corral. Want a red truck, black truck, white truck? How about a blue truck? Black wheels, chrome wheels. Come to the Sunrise Truck Corral. 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, extended cab, crew cab. Want a lifted truck? Come to the Sunrise Truck Corral. Want a diesel? How about a gas engine? Ford, Dodge, Chevy, Jeep, GMC, Toyota. We got them all at the Sunrise Truck Corral, the only dedicated truck lot in Memphis. Can't find a truck you like? Call, click, or come in. We'll find you the dream truck. Sunrise Truck Corral, Old Hummer Building on Highway 64 in Bartlett. We make it fun to buy a truck.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
AC trouble? Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60. Then this year, Air Doctors is the official HVAC contractor for St. Jude Dream House. Air Doctors installed the St. Jude Dream House new Train high-efficiency equipment. Get your service from the best. AirDoctorsOfMemphis.com. Call 901-598-HVAC.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck, because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Final hour on this Thursday afternoon. You know what we do at that time. We always talk Tigers with Greg Gaston from Sports 56 Middays, and we will do that after I tell you about the title sponsor of this hour, and that's DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales. They're very proud to serve DeSoto County and the entire area. All the cars test-driven, all checked out bumper to bumper, every make, every model. And at DeSoto Auto Sales, you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, no high-pressure sales, but they do want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience because they know we live in a world today that time really matters. And that's why you walk in, find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed, and you're gone in less than 45 minutes. That's a guarantee at DeSoto Auto Sales. They keep it that simple, and they want to, and they have plenty of happy customers and plenty of referrals at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Go there and look at the beautiful cars and check out the testimonials from repeat customers. That's the best endorsement, or the customers that come back time and time again. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales for that town and country experience. Greg Gaston from the Tigers sideline joins us now. We talk with Greg, and we're getting closer and closer to football talk, but we do want Greg's thoughts on Musa Cisse, and Greg's brought to you by South Hall Cafe, Mid-South Hobbies, 3A Collisions, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, and Neil's Bar and Grill.
I'm just curious because I think Greg Gaston picked Phil Mickelson in one of his picks.
Oh, Greg.
No, that's not true. That's
Greg.
not true.
That is not true.
I did hear Steve Sands liking Ricky Fowler, though. He's one under.
Steve Sands, like Ricky Fowler, seemed to come out of nowhere.
And you griefed him hard.
Yeah, just before I jumped on with you guys, I was looking at the scores. I think he shot 1 under, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I said a while ago, I think it was a couple years ago, I told Steve Sands, who's a good friend of mine, Ricky's not going to win a major. I just think he's distracted with all the stuff he does. And
I remember you doing it. And so far, really hadn't Ricky Fowler kind of been not to the extreme that she was, but the Anna Kournikova of the PGA Tour.
That is a pretty good comparison. Now I know he's won some, and she won a little bit, but yes, I think it's not an unfair comparison.
I said kind of.
He won a Players Championship.
That's
but
it.
Man,
that's the best thing he's won.
But the money he has made off the course for a guy who really hasn't produced on the course,
T15
seems to be a disparity there.
I would say
T15's a good life, though, Greg. I take it.
I wonder this, especially when you're one of the top 2 or 3 endorsers of the sport. I don't really quite. I mean, he had the look when he first came up. He seemed nice. He never, in my opinion, says anything interesting. Have you ever heard something? At least
very
DeChambeau,
nice, though,
who can pee you off quickly.
Well, he's won a U.S. Open.
I'm just saying about the presentation of what he has to say, his articulation on subjects. Even though he's a little wacky, he says interesting things that make you think. You never got that from Ricky. To this day, I do not get the infatuation with Ricky, with the exception of his looks. And younger women really loved him when he first came up.
Yeah.
I wonder this. Do you think that made him fat and sassy, that he had all the money in the world, didn't have to work at his game? Because he's been through 2 or 3 different swing coaches now. He went from the guy he had near college to around college to Didn't he go to the guy that was doing Norman that did a lot of guys?
Harmon?
Yeah, Butch Harmon. He went to Butch Harmon, and then now he switched away from Butch Harmon. He's on another guy. I don't know if he doesn't work. I don't know what it is, but you may be right, Greg. I don't see.
He's kind of like his alma mater. He's kind of the Mike Gundy of college football, like Mike Gundy is of college football coaches.
It's funny because Waldo says he doesn't say anything interesting. He's boring in his commercials, for goodness sakes, but he has 100 of them.
I know.
I give credit to whoever his agent is because the connection that they made early with Puma was huge. Was absolutely huge, and that got him kick-started. And, again, as you said, good-looking young guy with the women, with the kids who love to wear the Puma apparel. It's worked out. The guy's made boatloads of money. We would love to have his life. He's got a beautiful wife. I wish him well. I just don't see it happening. Look, I'll eat crow if it finally happens, but you would think it would have happened by now that he would have won a major. There are so many great golfers out there right now and so many more young studs that are making – their names already that it seems like he's been like times passed by him.
But
I'm going to tell y'all how ugly y'all were to him when he gets here to the tournament.
Well, right now he's not in the tournament, so we're not worried.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not worried.
He's like
about
100.
He's
ranking.
not that big.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I'm trying to remember. I don't think Ricky is that old yet. He's still pretty darn young.
Yeah, he's in that Thomas age group, isn't he? Because he's buddies with all those guys.
Yeah.
Thomas, they're all buddies, right?
Smiley Kaufman once was in that running group.
Yeah, Smiley Kaufman still. I don't know how he still is in some tournament.
Ricky's 32. He's only 32.
Only 32.
But he's not 21. He's not 22. He's not Hovland. He's not Morikawa.
Time marches on.
No.
Yeah.
All right, after the full takedown of Ricky Fowler, we didn't do this mean, I don't think, at all. Greg, give us your assessment with the transfer news today. Give us your thumbnail scouting report on Moussa Cisse.
I think, first of all, he's a really, really nice young man. We had the fortune of having him on middays when he was still at Lausanne and made the commitment to Memphis. And he's very intelligent, articulate guy, but he is a long way from the NBA. And hopefully for his sake, it'll work at Oklahoma State. Mike Boynton's a good coach. I like him a lot, and I hope that they can figure it out. He's got to find some sort of offensive game. He has none right now. He's got to have better hands. And defensively, he showed signs. Certainly he has the ability to block shots and rebound the basketball, but he's got to be more aggressive. He's got to show that lateral movement with his feet like DeAndre Ayton has with the Suns, or you don't have a prayer to make it at the next level. If you're a big without a three-point shot, which Ayton doesn't have, you have to do everything else really, really well, and Ayton does. I think Moose is a long way away. It doesn't mean he won't make it. I wish him well. That's pretty much my assessment of that.
I go along those lines. I think he's a wonderful young man. I wish him the very best. I think he did need to change scenery. One of the things that he said in a statement was he went there because he talked about development. He thought that staff would develop him. I think he got better in Memphis with footwork. He did not get better with his hands. He did not get better with his free throw shooting, and that's why Penny couldn't play him at the end of games. He's not close to the NBA. He's not close to being a really good college player. All he can do is, for a big man, run the floor and jump. He's got decent timing on block shots, but he fouled too many times. And he's got a lot to work on. But he did go straight from here. He went, I want to say it was Atlanta or Orlando. He went to an academy to work on his game, and he went to that G League thing where they didn't discourage him. So there's still hope for Moussa Cisse. But he's, as you said, Greg, right on. He's got a long, long way to go. And you mentioned the hands. That's the one thing that worries me, because I think hands are like speed. You either got them or you don't. I don't know. You can get better hands, but I don't know that you can go from not being able to catch the ball at all. And if the ball was not thrown up high and it was thrown down low, forget about it. He could not get the ball. If you are plagued with that, I don't think you ever get great hands. I hope he gets better hands. I don't think he's ever going to have great hands.
The one really good thing about this whole deal and testing the NBA waters and going to where you said he went to develop here over the summer, and he feels that he's improved, is that he understood and his inner circle understood that they got a ways to go. Because the worst thing is when there's a bad decision made by either the player himself or the people he surrounds himself with, and they say, no, we're ready, you're ready for the NBA, and then boom, here comes the draft, you're not selected. Doesn't mean you can't make a career somewhere professionally around the world and make money at playing basketball, but it's an absolute embarrassment and a step backwards. I am glad that calmer heads prevailed. They realize there's work to be done, and he's going back and he's going to try it with Oklahoma State.
Yesterday, I emceed a luncheon. Ryan Silverfield spoke, and I mentioned on the air how much fun it is to watch Ryan Silverfield just get better and better at all facets of his job. Not that he was ever not good, don't get me wrong, but as a public speaker in particular, he was terrific yesterday. And it's fun to watch a guy grow into a position. And I was able to chat with him a little bit about NIL, and then I spoke with some administrators in the meantime. And I want to make everybody aware, I've already talked about it about an hour and a half ago. I think it's an important point to make. If you are a booster and you're wondering about name, image, likeness, and opportunities to legally support, sponsor, pay a player, they have to give you goods for your services. That could be anywhere from posting about a place to doing a commercial. Lots of different ways you can do this. But the booster has to go to the athlete. That means they have to go through the school to get the contact, get to the player, the father, the parent of the player, the agent of the player, which they can now have. But the coach can't go to the booster and say, oh, you want to give money and you want to give it to him? Okay. You got to go to the coach and get the contact information. In other words, sponsors, boosters, those interested in participating in an NIL program, they have to be the proactive people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally illegal for a coach to go to a sponsor. It's illegal for an athletic director to go to a sponsor. The sponsor has to come to you first and be directed. That's the way it's got to work. And if you're a guy or a gal and you're thinking about giving to the U of M, go quickly because they need to set these things up. There have already been at least one recruit that I know of for sure that I think would have come to Memphis but did not because they got a better NIL offer from another school that was already in place.
Well said. You're right on with that. You can't wait around and wait for the school or the coach to contact you because it is illegal. We had Ryan Silverfield on middays today. Eli asked him about that, and he was pretty right. It was right to the point. We can't do anything. We can't help a player with a deal. We can't contact possible suitors as far as sponsors are concerned. We can't deal with boosters. We can't do any of that when it comes to NIL. But yes, everybody else who wants to or has a business and wants to have a particular player or a certain group of players, like in the case of the University of Arkansas, they got the offensive linemen. They're doing, I think it's a barbecue place, which is really, really cool. That's all.
There's a receiver who's
legal.
got a deal for his dog at Arkansas.
Hey, whatever it is all above board now. But Wolo's point, Wolo's point is well taken. There is a battle going on. There is a huge battle going on. It's always been a battle, but it's usually under the table. Now it's above board.
Right.
And boosters, whether they be owners of a company or connected with the university and know people who have companies that want to help out, they can't sit around and wait because other schools are stepping up to help bring these players in. Is it a recruitment of some sort? Yes, it is. It absolutely is. But it's now legal through these business owners, boosters, if you like, although I know there was the whole deal in Florida about using the term boosters. But we know that most of the boosters who support a school that are business owners, I mean, it's going to go hand in hand. But you can't sit around and wait. You can't call Ryan Silverfield up and say, hey, listen, I'm interested in doing this or that. You can't call Laird Beach up and say, well, I'd like to do – you have to step up right now. So you hit it out of the park, Willow.
I love it when that happens. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Is this a campaign to gear up for our Jalen Duren?
That is happening. There's no question in my mind from everything I've heard, if all the reports that I've heard are accurate. Yes, they're looking to step up. Kentucky's looking to step up. Everybody that is in with him in college. Now, who would be the third team? Miami?
Yes,
we know Miami is
professional leagues.
Well, there's five entities that he's identified that he's going to choose from. 3 colleges are Kentucky, Memphis, and Miami. The other 2 entities are the G League Elite and the Australian Basketball League.
Look, we know what Miami has done already. Boosters in football, and I'm not saying that just because you support football, you're going to support basketball. But
where's Nevin Shapiro?
Yeah, where's Nevin Shapiro when you need him? Where's Donna Shalala when you need her? No, look, they're stepping up.
Nobody ever needed her.
I know. They're stepping up, though, big time. And, yes, I would guarantee you that when Jalen visited, Penny can't say anything to him, but I'm sure there was visits maybe with possible suitors that he possibly visited with. And I would think that something went on that's legal, that you're allowed to do. Because if you're not, then I don't know what you could say to Jalen other than, I think there's some things that can happen for you as far as NIL. Well, we've heard the stories about Kentucky and what they've had to say to Jalen. Jalen. So,
well, we know what one guy said anyway. He'd buy $1 million worth of T-shirts. So,
right.
That's $1 million offer. That's the other question that I have, honestly, is what is your ceiling here? All right, so we know that Australian league is given about 500.
Who's going to be the highest paid player in college basketball?
Well, you've got the Australian league offers about $500,000. Doesn't the G League Elite offer somewhere between $500,000 and $250,000, something like that? I think it's about $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing if you're going to try and steer a player away from the G League or that league, somebody's going to end up
in
getting
that neighborhood.
$500,000, right?
Yeah, but if you're talking about now college basketball, this is what we're talking about, stepping up financially, because that wasn't a question before. It was, do you want to go make money in the G League? Do you want to go make money in Australia? Or would you rather go to college, not make money, but get pretty good exposure? Now they can sell the exposure part and also the money part. So I would think that there's a better chance to land these big fish now, unless the kid is just, his mind is set, I'm going to play professionally. But we know that you can be exposed a bit. If you go play with older people, you could be exposed. And then when the draft comes around the following year, when you're eligible,
look at Musa Cisse. He got exposed.
Exactly. So it could be exposure with the G League. It could be exposure in college. I mean, you're not set in stone where you're going to be drafted when you're eligible for that NBA draft. But now, at least with college, and I know we talked about it before a couple of weeks ago when I was last on, we talked about the Cade Cunningham comparison versus Jalen Green.
Sure.
Well, Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham didn't have the NIL, but Cade Cunningham decided, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get great exposure. We're going to have a fun time, and we're going to make a run, and we're going to there'll be so many eyes on me, and that's going to help my stock because I know I'm going to do well. I have confidence in myself. Green thought, well, I want to go make money right away.
Right.
I'm sure he wasn't worried about being exposed in college. He's just, let me make the money now. Well, now we have the option for these young men to go and play in college for a year, make money, and maybe even some good money, and play with their peers. In fact, they're probably better than most of the guys, right? But they're not playing against men who are 28 or 29 that have been around and are seasoned. So this is a great option.
The other aspect is you have a chance to learn, if that means anything, because you're going to get a year of education.
Right.
But more so, you're going to be with peers. So these guys are going to be your age. You're going to love hanging around them because you can. You're going to be flying in private jets, and you're going to be playing in front of packed stadiums on national TV, as opposed to the G League Elite, where there might be 2 or 3 guys your age and the rest are older guys because they're trying to teach you the ropes, and you're playing in little tiny gyms with nobody in them, and I don't even know how you travel. I doubt you're taking private airplanes. So that experience cannot be the same. And if you are one of those guys that plays in the Australian basketball league, now you're away from home and you know nobody. And
you're very far away from home.
And you're playing with definitely with men that are in their upper 20s to lower 30s.
Yeah.
So to me, if you're getting anywhere near the money, the college experience is a no-brainer. I just don't know, how schools are going to be able to afford it, especially those that are not in the Power 5. If, for example, what I've heard is correct, a 4-star guy that is coming up with no experience, nothing proven, is going to get $12,000 to come to a school, or we know at the University of Miami, no matter what, you're getting $500 a month. What's a star going to get, and how can you afford, if you're paying say $300,000 for a top 10 basketball recruit? What are you going to pay your quarterback? I don't know where the money's going to come from.
I can't sit here and speak for Jalen Duren or any of these stars that are going to be in that situation and will have to make that decision for themselves. But if you're telling me that you can have a kid like Jalen Duren go to a school, whatever the school may be, with the possibility of making, let's throw out a number, $100,000, or go right to the G League Elite, play, like you said, with guys that a lot of the guys that are older, not get the exposure. I think there's a good chance they may take that 100 G's, play, have fun for a year, really help their stock, and be ready to go for the NBA draft the following year. I don't know that for a fact because I don't know what's ticking in their minds, but I think it's an option now. It's a good option. So that's where the boosters have to step up. I mean, look, who are boosters for the University of Memphis? We know Bill Laurie has contributed a lot of money. Now, I don't know if that's something that, because obviously
you could buy a country
with Walmart, right? But now is it just
Memphis needs a guy. Let's go back to that thought for a second. Let's just say Bill Laurie decides he's going to give $500,000 more to the school, like he did for the Laurie Walton building. This time he's going to say, you know what? I'm not giving it to the school. I'm going to give it to the players. I'm giving it to the labor force. If he says that, and the university still needs facilities, they still need, let's say, baseball. They got to upgrade baseball. Now, all of a sudden, that's $500,000 gone from the pile they would have gotten because it's going to the athletes. Where are they going to make that up? I'm going to tell you where they're going to make that up. They're going to have to. They're going to have to go with what a lot of other schools do that are not Power 5, especially if they have big enrollments. They go to an activities fee. So if you get, say, $30 activity fee at 20,000 students, well, there's $6 million. If it's $40, it's $8 million. They're going to have to make a way. They're going to find a way.
How does that go over? So we've swung the other direction to the players that weren't getting anything for so long, but they were getting free school.
Right.
They weren't paying back student loans into their 40s like regular rank and file. So now regular rank and file gets their student activity fees raised to pay the pampered athletes.
Yes. That's what's going to happen.
Well, let me.
Is that fair?
Backwards.
Well, no.
In the big fair world?
Well, no,
it's not fair.
It's not fair. Nothing is fair. I mean, very little in life sometimes.
Would a typical student that loves sports pay an extra fee if they were able to land a giant like Jalen Duren? Would they do that?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's all semantics anyway. But that money, that activity fee, that would go to replace the money that you're losing that's going to the athletes. Remember, the booster money, that sponsor money, that is what is going to go to the athletes. So you're looking to make up your losses, right?
Right. Right.
You're trying to make your losses up to pay your staff, to pay your coaches, to pay for your facility upgrades. Where is that money going to come from that used to come from boosters? Now that percentage of money is going to athletes. Where are you going to find a new revenue stream? And to me, that's going to end up being activity fees.
No, it's a good point. Let me mention. I know you guys are short on time. Let me mention this though, and correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say, again, we're just throwing it out there, but say Bill Laurie, if he donated money to the university, they can't give any of that money to the player. They can't do that. What would have to happen, I believe, is his connection to Walmart through the family. There has to be a business, right? There has to be a business connected with the money that is given to these players. So that's what would have to happen. There'd have to be the connection.
He could set up Bill Laurie T-shirt shop.
No, this is why they've got, I forget the name of the company. They got a branding company that is a part of this, that is setting up all of the branding and social media and sponsorship capabilities for the players. So Bill Laurie would go, what's the name of that company? Wish I could remember. But he would give his $500,000 to that company and say, distribute that amongst the athletes.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm trying to look that up right now real quick. That Memphis, and I love that because Memphis was proactive. They had thought about this.
What's the name of the company, Brian?
Maximum.
And it's UM. Maxim UM for U of Memphis.
So there you go. That answers that question. That he can give to the Maximum, which distributes the money among the athletes, and then he would have a say, obviously, of which athlete he wants.
He could dictate however he wanted that money. He could say, Grant Cannell, I'm giving you $200,000. The other $300,000 is split up amongst the Emmy. I'm making that up. I don't know what.
Right. But that's
real quick. Y'all want to guess Bill and Nancy Walton Laurie's net worth according to the Google machine?
I'm going to say $4.5 billion.
Greg?
I'm going to go $7 billion.
$8 billion.
$8 billion.
$8 billion.
What's a $500,000? Come on, Bill.
$8 billion.
Lord.
That means if they lost $7.1 billion, they still got to get by on $900 million.
I got to tell you something. They're not losing that
money.
You're
a math whiz, by the way.
They're not losing that money.
Public school, man. No activity fees either. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We may be asking you to donate to the activity fee fund. Forget ESPN Plus. Forget that $5. Put it toward me.
I almost said Bill Laurie brought to you every week by Greg Aston, brought to you every week by
Bill Laurie.
South Hall Cafe, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, Mid-South Hobbies, 3A Collisions, and Neil's Bar and Grill. Thank you all. We appreciate it.
We do. We love chatting with Greg every week. We truly do. And that's all part of Talking Tigers. And all the feedback I get is that everybody loves it. We thank you. I'll let you know this portion of the show brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch. You know, they're one of the top 50 in the country at selling Genesis cars. A lot of that's the product. I mean, let's be honest. Those are the best luxury cars on the market. Bang for your buck. I'm not just saying that. That's what all the automotive magazines, all the vehicle experts, they all say that. It's amazing. And safety, well, Hyundai's the safest car in the world. And you get that same technology from Genesis. G70, G80, G90. How about the new GV80? That's the SUV that everybody is clamoring for. And now they got a G70, a smaller SUV on the way. Go see Vinny Gerard. So he's over all of the Genesis cars. In fact, if you call him, he might even bring one out for you to test drive. His direct number, 662-890-6684. Vinny Gerard, great guy. You'll love chatting with Vinny. But that whole team is terrific. This is Chris True's group. He's over both the stores. He's got folks that have been around for 13 or 14 years. They'll help you with sales. They'll help you with finance. They'll help you with maintenance. They do take care of you. The cars are durable. Everyone, Hyundai or Genesis, gets a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. But when I say they take care of you, they give you a maintenance package. 3 years, 36,000 miles. They'll change your oil, rotate your tires, make sure everything is running perfectly for you. That's the way they operate at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. Back in just a minute, halfway home on our final hour on Thursday on Sports Time.
Grab a seat with Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solution.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Farmers Insurance knows that there's a not-so-subtle difference between the sound of a car hitting your rear bumper and the sound of a clown car hitting your rear bumper.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry about that.
We call that a three-ring fender bender, and we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent.
They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Halfway home of our final hour here on Sports Time on this Thursday. It's brought to you by Conway. Are you an HVAC installer that knows how to deliver great customer service, or are you running ductwork in new homes every day? Stop running all that ductwork. Give your career a boost. It's time you join Conway. Conway's got great benefits: health insurance, holiday pay, paid time off, 401k, and a whole lot more. Conway service installers enjoy working with some of the newest tools and trucks and equipment in the industry, which makes it easier to deliver great customer service. And by the way, Conway never has laid off an HVAC installer. So if you're drug-free with a clean criminal background and a good driving record, maybe you need to talk to Conway. When you're a premier installer, you should be working for a premier service company, and no one is better than my guys at Conway. All you got to do is call 384-3511. Do yourself and your family a favor. Call the great Conway at 384-3511, or you can even go to conwayservices.net. It didn't take long, Brett Norsworthy. Have you seen this? Bryson DeChambeau.
Already apology.
Oh, yeah. I just saw it on Twitter. I'm going to read it to you.
Well, it's got to be true. If it's on Twitter, it's true.
It's good. No, this is. If this is
everything on Twitter is true.
Not everything, but I think this apology is. So here is Bryson DeChambeau. How many hours after he made those stupid comments about how his Cobra driver sucked?
Less than 10.
He goes, the comment I made in my post-round interview today was very unprofessional. My frustration and emotions over the way I drove the ball today boiled over. I sucked today, not my equipment. Cobra and I have worked together for over 5 years, and they are some of the hardest working people in the golf industry and make an incredible product. Their team is like family to me, especially Ben Showman, who has been there for me every step of the way.
The guy that called him stupid and compared him to an 8-year-old.
Since I started my career. I deeply regret the words I used earlier. I am relentless in my pursuit of improvement and perfection. Part of that causes me to become outwardly frustrated at times with the new speeds I am obtaining. My game is a constant work in progress, and so is controlling my emotions.
You know what Brando Chambly said about him on Golf Channel this afternoon over this dust up. He said he is a crybaby. He said in the 20 biggest crybabies in the history of sport have been some of the 20 best athletes ever. It goes with their striving for perfection. He held up his iPhone. He said, "You know who a crybaby was? Steve Jobs." He said, "You go watch that movie about him and you wonder how anybody could ever please him and ever work for him, but he was always trying to build the proverbial best mousetrap ever."
That's great.
It is great, and Brando Chambly is great.
He is great. I guess he's got a pretty prominent role, but it's amazing to me that he's not an NBC Paul Azinger role guy.
He's so much better than Paul Azinger.
Oh, he is. I mean, he really
But he didn't have the playing stature to be able to say, coming down a back stretch, I would do this, I would do that. Paul Azinger did and does.
Well, true. But nobody knows the analytics better than him. Not even Johnny Miller.
History.
Not even Johnny Miller knew it. And I love Johnny Miller. You know that.
And I'm telling you, he can go chapter and verse on Harry Varden or Denny Shute or old or young Tom Morris. It's incredible.
It is. And I think it was incredible. And, this is when you say you hear from so many people that Bryson DeChambeau is a good guy, right?
I mean,
how quickly he basically says what a jerk I am, how stupid I was.
A businessman got to him.
Ben Showman is correct. Mm-hmm. I'm an idiot. I suck today, not the Cobra product. I'm sorry. I was frustrated. I lost my mind. That's basically what he's saying. And, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt about that. Because what he said was stupid. We ripped him when he said it. But when you come back this quickly.
And who among us hadn't said something we live to regret almost instantly?
I agree. I don't think I'm ever going to love Bryson DeChambeau because I think he's too wacky. But I do respect what he did today. I respect how he does try everything he can.
And I think you should accept apology.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy goes out. I mean, he works his tail
off. I've had
off.
people. I'm glad that have accepted mine.
Yeah, me too.
For really dumb things, much dumber than ripping my golf equipment.
All right, explain this to me. The Yankees and the Red Sox, we know, are canceled tonight because of a couple of Yankee players in the protocol. And this, honestly, Brett, in all seriousness, this worries me when I see this stuff. The New York Yankees, according to the little graphic that I just saw on ESPN, they lead Major League Baseball in percentage of players that have been vaccinated. They are at the 85% or above level, and they're the team right now that had to postpone a game.
And this parallels with the new California or Los Angeles mandate of back to mandatory masks starting at midnight Saturday, which begs, if it's so dangerous, it's so virulent, and it's so such treachery out there, why are we waiting till midnight Saturday? Implement it immediately.
Yeah, I don't know. I can tell you it is so comfortable not to wear one. And if everybody got vaccinated, I don't think we would have to. I know that I flew,
we were told we wouldn't have to.
I flew on an airplane this past week, and hey, because it's Memphis, we had to go through another city. So
Or three.
I went from Austin, Texas, home through Dallas to Memphis, and you're talking about 7.5 hours because even in the airport you got to wear
a lot of mask time.
It's a lot of mask time. Now, if they tell me I have to, I will do it. I will admit to you, since I wore that mask and washed my hands all the time, I don't think I've been sick a day. But I don't want to wear them if I don't have to. That is true. But it does seem odd to me and scary to me that the Yankees are amongst the highest vaccinated of all the Major League Baseball teams at 85%, and yet here we go.
Well, we're not at the end of it, but to this point, Florida didn't shut down, didn't mandate masks, didn't mandate social distancing. It was live and let live, and their rates parallel exactly with the heavy lockdown states, Michigan, New York, California. Mm-hmm. We also know at this point, we go back to an original statement made by Dr. Fauci early in this. Virus is going to virus. There may not be anything we can do for it.
That's true. Well, I can also tell you this from everything that I've read or seen from any medical expert, including our own friend, Dr. Stephen Threlkeld, which is basically if you get the vaccine and you do get the disease, again, from a Delta variant, you're not going to get real sick. You're not going to get real sick. And actually, something else I just read, I don't know where I read it, but I just read it. The immunity that you get, which is different than what we read earlier. Maybe it's from the Delta. I don't know. But if you get the disease, the immunity you get from getting the disease is better. I just read that, and I don't quite understand that because the immunity
historically that's been in every disease ever.
Right, but here's
you
the
build
thing.
up a tolerance.
The immunity weren't we originally told the immunity only lasts 4 months?
They don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that
Get
would
the vaccine,
shake.
that's all
I don't
I
think
can
that
tell
would have shaken the public if in March of 2020 doctors at the science level had said, "We don't really know. Good luck."
Yeah. Anyway, I find it ironic and scary, honestly, that the Yankees are amongst the best percentage of vaccinations, and yet they're the ones that are going into protocol. And look, we know it's still here because we just found out Bradley Beal, who's been playing with all these guys. Now they've all gotten tested again. Bradley Beal from the Washington team in the NBA, he's out of the Olympics because of COVID today, and his teammate Jeremy Grant may follow. He's in protocols. They haven't ruled him out of Tokyo quite yet. This portion of our show is brought to you by Dinstall's. And guess what the Summer Sizzler special is? This weekend, it's peanut brittle. They also, by the way, have blackberries. So now we're talking about strawberries, pineapple, grapes, and raspberries. Chocolate-covered raspberries. I'm assuming... blackberries, excuse me. I think they got raspberries too. But I'm assuming that they're going to dip that in the fondant before they cover it with the milk chocolate, or as Becky Dinstall likes to say, before we enrobe the fruit with the marvelous milk chocolate. You just can't beat Dinstall's. And the peanut brittle that you'll have this week, it's the best you ever put in your mouth. But there isn't anything Dinstall's doesn't do that isn't spectacular. From my favorite, the Cashew Crunch, or the Turtlettes, or those strawberries, nothing beats Dinstall's, and nothing says in a sweeter way, Memphis, than Dinstall's. And all the locations now open, starting with downtown. It's open now, particularly on the weekends, where they make it in Pleasant View, where in my neighborhood I can walk to Laurelwood, or in Collierville or Germantown. There's a Dinstall store that's close to you. We are close to wrapping it up. We've got Taco Bell Crunch Time coming your way in just a minute.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is there a room in your house that never seems to cool or heat the way you think it should? Then a Mitsubishi ductless system may be a solution for you. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Ductless systems are relatively new to the United States, but Mitsubishi ductless systems are a proven energy saver because the system does not have any ductwork, so it can blow colder air in the summer and warmer air in the winter. Mitsubishi's inverter-driven compressors automatically adjust to your cooling or heating demands to deliver ideal comfort while only using the energy that is needed. No more, no less. Do you have a bonus room, sunroom, or master bedroom that never cools right? Maybe a new addition to your home or a garage you want heated or cooled. Now you can do it efficiently. Call Choates today at 755-4797 or visit our website at choateshvac.com to schedule your free estimate. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Taco Bell Crunch Time right around the corner, but first let me let you know this final portion is brought to you by Ken Garland Custom Home Builders in a era now where home sales are just like crazy. The seller has all the advantage. Maybe it's time for you to build your dream home. Maybe you've had land in your family. You've been waiting for the perfect time. Guess what? This is the perfect time to call my guy, Ken Garland, 751-1632. Wait, go to the website first, kengarland.com. I want you to see what he and his dad over the last 50 years have done in the Memphis metropolitan area. Beautiful homes, beautiful renovations. I call it renovation with innovation. He takes all the modern amenities, puts those into your new home. And if you love where you live, the location, and you feel like that lot is, well, it's like an old shoe. It's so comfortable. Don't give it up. Renovate. Or let Ken build that new dream home for you. He sees little details and he sees the big vision all at once. He's one of those rare guys. Fun to talk to, and he'll work with you. He knows the big decision, the commitment financially you're making. That's why he works with you, and he gives all of his clients exactly what they want and should expect. Quality construction, on time, on budget. Again, kengarland.com. Take a look, and then make this call. 751-1632. Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders, always on the money. All of a sudden, it's Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
Boop! Get you!
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
It's obviously crunch time.
Hell
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
On one, on two, on three. Hey!
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day.
Dave, I learned that DeAndre Ayton's been missing in these last 2 games. He may be a more key part of the Suns than even we all recognize. Only 6 points last night. He did have 17 rebounds, but he's got to give more offense. And I just love seeing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Big O together courtside.
Oh, wasn't that great? And John McLaughlin was sitting right there with them, a teammate. Now, that was terrific. Ayton has been outstanding on the boards. He's had at least 12 or 13 rebounds in every game, but he could come up with a little more. I got a feeling at home he'll be a little bit more comfortable. I learned today about a couple of really tough guys in sports that amazed me. I don't know if you've seen this at all because it's just coming up, but the mystery of Tom Brady's knee injury has apparently been solved. The Tampa Bay Times and the NFL Network reported this afternoon Brady played last season with a fully torn medial collateral ligament in that left knee. He then had surgery to repair the MCL tear in February after the Super Bowl win over the Kansas City Chiefs. He played the Super Bowl with a torn MCL. That's incredible.
It is.
And
this is at 43. That's something at 23.
I know. And then Conor McGregor, he said he had multiple stress fractures in his left leg, which he broke in the first round against Poirier. He says UFC knew it, so he's not making it up. At this point, there is no comment from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. But the reason that leg snapped, the reason the leg snapped was it was stress fractured out. He shouldn't have been fighting.
Could have done without this today from Big 12 Media Days. They're now going to call a penalty on opposing players playing Texas if they're mean to them and give them the hook 'em down horn symbol. So I guess Texas can't do it for upside. If the opposing team if you can give it, you got to be able to take it. So if you can't give down, then you can't give up.
That, by the way, was the chief official. He was saying that they're going to call a foul, penalty.
Penalty. It's football. It's a penalty. Basketball's fouls. Yeah. He said foul.
I know he did.
That wrong sport, and quit saying that. Let's don't lose our jargon.
And if you give a player you just beat the horns down thing, they flag you. I mean...
okay, that's fine. But you can't give it horns up if you do well.
I think that's fair. But you know what it also tells me? You know who's running the Big 12? The University of Texas.
Guess who ran the Southwest Conference?
That's what it tells me.
Guess why Nebraska got the heck out of Dodge?
Bingo. I could have done without this Dwayne Haskins' wife story. I mean, domestic violence charge.
That's rough.
She literally pounded her husband, Pittsburgh quarterback Dwayne Haskins, with a shot to the mouth that had so much leverage and power, it knocked a tooth out. You know how hard you got to hit a guy to knock his tooth out?
Because if he responds, he's done.
Oh, I know. You know what he said?
But he's at the dentist's office.
Yeah. He said he didn't even remember he got hit so hard.
Golly. And that's mess with her.
Man, no kidding. My goodness. But you're right.
That's rough.
What are you watching tonight?
We're not watching Yankees Red Sox. That was going to be the only baseball game back before after the break started, the full return. But no Yankees Red Sox. But there will be Redbirds at AutoZone Park. They're home through Sunday. And Game 5, the anticipation really building for Saturday night in Phoenix. I'll watch news from media days around college football, including more from the Big 12, and we'll also keep an eye on Golf Channel live from Royal St. George when they're about to start playing again here in a few minutes. And,
well,
man, I'm all out of whack.
I think it's 3 a.m. So
yeah,
basically, you got about
not only am I texting
9
you when
hours.
I get up in the morning, I'm calling you in the morning when I start watching. I hope you have your ringer on. It's loud.
Well, I will not have my ringer on. And if you call at 6, that's cool. You call before 6, that would not be cool. You
better be in jail if you call you before 6.
Are you going to watch CONCACAF Gold Cup tonight? You got Canada and Haiti? Come on.
I'm not, Dave. I'm not.
U.S. and Martinique. That's at 9. That's what I'm going to watch.
Surely we can take Martinique.
I got to tell you, this really sort of tells me this is a Netflix.
Can we bet on
night.
it? Can we bet on U.S.?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can bet on anything now.
Sure can. Isn't that something that have the dialogue has changed? I mean, gambling, paying players, cannabis. Wow. I mean, just let the good times roll.
If I had said to you seriously in the 90s that this was what we were going to get,
I would have never believed
25 or 30 years later, Lord, you would never.
I mean, point spread.
Ever.
We used to have to kind of do that hush with, for news information only.
Oh, you know what? This is the truth. Now ESPN brags about the lines, promotes the lines. I'll never forget. I might have been a pregame show, and R.C. Johnson heard me on the pregame show go, and the Tigers are 4-point favorites in this game. And he came up and he said, Golden Throat, I never want to hear you ever give the lines.
Yeah. Oh, they were scared to death of it.
Oh, yeah. He was not at all happy.
Yeah, we're smoking dope, betting,
man,
paying off players legally.
Usually, it's got to be medical marijuana. Be careful. Be careful. We got to thank Daryl Smith. We got to thank Keith Smith. We had a bunch of Smiths today. And we got to thank Greg Gaston. Usual show tomorrow. Is Bruce Marshall back yet? Is he back
Yes,
tomorrow?
he is. He'll be with us at 4 tomorrow. Alan Bell will be with us at 3:30.
Looking forward to that. We'll do it again then. Have a great night, everybody.
It's time to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett.
Great job.
Kia
See you tomorrow,
on
Brian.
Covington Pike. Get up and go in a 2021 Kia Rio 41 MPG Highway, 0% and $239 a month. 2021 Kia Forte,